And welcome back to Crutcher Scott Field here in Abilene, Texas. ACU and SFA non-conference action. First time in a while here at the Crutch. We'll talk about that storyline a little down the road. But Roman, tonight, as we talked about the last warm-up for both of these sides, is, you know, they're trying to figure things out. SFA, obviously, they've started conference play already, kind of taking an off week this week. But ACU's got a big one up this weekend. And I think this is a really important game in the scheme of things. These midweek games kind of get overlooked.
Right, and ACU, they've had a really great start to the season with the non-conference play. Had some tougher opponents, played some big games, and lost some of those as well, but they've had some learning lessons there, some ups and downs, and this team just feels battle-tested under Coach Rick McCarty. They've had a great setup, and now they're going into the really meaningful part of their schedule with some success and some confidence, as well as learning some of the bigger lessons that they don't want to have to learn later on in the season.
All right, so Wildcats taking the field right now. We're going to take a look at this Wildcat defense. It's Reese Borrow in left field, Braden Regala in center field, Ben Greer in right. Sam Hardcastle holding down the hot corner at third, Nick Arias in the short hole. Max Meese hops from catcher to second base, Grant Watkins over at first base, and Jack Nielsen behind the dish tonight. And he's got normally what's maybe not a midweek starter, but Ian Kampa on the mound tonight for the Wildcats. Roman, someone who can really do the work for the Wildcats, did some good job last season for them in some select conference play games.
Right, and had a tough start to the year so far, coming into today with a 12.19 ERA. Only 10 innings pitched there, but it's been up and down for him, and tonight's a good chance for him to get some confidence, just kind of figure out his stuff against a solid opponent, and then really get rolling through whack play as we get going here. But he did pitch against SFA last week, went 3 innings, 2 hits, an earned run, and a strikeout. Not a terrible performance for him, and he's starting to heat up a little bit and get back to that success he saw last year.
Well, and for Kampa, a number that sticks out, that 56 strikeout season last year, just a 27 walks, kind of a good performance there in 67 and a third innings for him. And got an interesting lineup tonight. Obviously, these midweek games are always interesting. This is an SFA team, you talked about it, on a 6-game losing streak, trying to figure some things out. And we dive into that tonight. Ben Hashizaki leads off. Cooper Schneider batting second, Josh Ibe batting third, Mark Henning at fourth, Ethan Atkinson, Duran, Turgeon, Garcia, and Dylan Hummel rounding it out for the Lumberjacks tonight. Who kind of stands out to you in that lineup tonight?
Well, I mean, Josh Ibe has been phenomenal. He's been their guy, leading them across the board in different offensive statistics, and he's a game-changing player for them. He's been the heart and soul of the offense so far, and they're going to need to rely on him tonight. But you know, this is a very, very raw roster. You talk about a new head coach, a lot of transfer players, kind of a changing in the vibe of the SFA baseball program we're seeing this year, and a lot of growth within that, but then also some struggles, as we mentioned, the 6-game skid and a 7-13 overall record.
Yeah, and Roman, last year, 10-44 season for the Lumberjacks. Not what they wanted. Matt Vanderberg in his first season, of course, coming over from West Texas A&M, where he built a dynasty, really. 3 Lone Star Conference titles, 10 trips to the NCAA postseason. But this team right now, 23 transfer players. As we see Ben Hashizaki step in. First pitch, getting ready to go, and we're glad to have you. First pitch outside for ball 1 to Hashizaki. Batting .302 this season, awaiting the second pitch, and swings on that one. Shot over to first. Great play by Watkins. He's going to walk over and step on first for the quick out. 2 pitches in.
Yeah, that's a great play there from Grant Watkins. Just a nice diver to his right, and that's a beauty with what Rick McCarty got through the transfer portal this year. Is you got a guy who's going to lead your team in home runs and also make a really athletic play over at first base there.
So after the unassisted play at first, it's going to be Cooper Schneider, the right fielder, stepping in for the Lumberjacks, waiting his first pitch from Kampa. And here it is, low for ball 1. Coming into tonight, Schneider, the junior from Cleburne, transferring from Dodge City Community College. Quite a show of community college and JUCO transfers on these rosters today. Second pitch, that one's in there for a strike, 1-1 the count.
An important piece of the game tonight is going to be getting ahead in the counts for Kampa, and for both pitchers really, but Kampa tends to struggle when he gets behind in the counts, has to force some pitches and throw it over the plate.
Well, there's a hit right there on the shortstop and bobbled in the short hole by Nick Arias. He's not going to have a play at first, so runner on first now after the bobbled kind of awkward hopper to the left side of the infield. So runner on first now, and we talked about it. Josh Ebay is probably the guy you want up in that scenario.
Right, and this is a great opportunity for the Lumberjacks to get on early here. Taking a look at it there, just took a weird hop on him, kind of bounced out of the glove, and Arias, not typically the everyday shortstop for this Wildcat team, getting some reps in a different spot, but he's got to make that play.
So after the error, that one gets away, and Schneider's going to head over to second with ease, no throw at all. So Schneider now on second. Ebay in the box still. 1-0 the count.
Yeah, and another error there from the Wildcats. I mean, you have errors on back-to-back pitches there. That's not a good start to this game.
1-0 the count. Here's the pitch. That one shot up the center, and it's going to fall for a base hit right in front of Braden Regala. Coming home is Schneider. He's got his wheels on. No one's going to get him. And the Lumberjacks, only a few batters in, have a run on the board. They lead 1-0 here in Abilene, Texas.
Yeah, and that's just a great piece from your best hitter there. Josh Eve just taking what the pitcher's going to give him, launches that one into the right center gap there, and just, you know, hit it the other way, take it, and get the RBI.
So runner on first now for Henning. Awaiting the first pitch. And here it is. That one's low for a ball from Kampa. Henning leads the team in triples, had 5 RBIs against Houston Tilston. Great outing for him a couple weeks ago. 1-0 pitch now. One shot on the left side. Looks to be playable, running over. It's going to fall for a base hit right in front of Reese Boro, who's going to throw it in time. Runner's going to advance to second. So 2 on now, 1 out. Roman, kind of a good start for SFA, something they needed, something they couldn't get against the Wildcats.
Yeah, and they're taking what's given to them. You know, you get your first runner on, and then Josh Ebay gets his 20th RBI of the year on a nice ball up the right center gap, and then you just get a little blooper in there. Probably helped by the wind a little bit, pushing pretty hard to right field there. Kept that one in play, and now you got runners on first and second with only 1 out.
Yeah, and anyone who's played here or watched a game here knows as that one goes outside to Ethan Atkinson, the catcher. Knows that that left field's hard to play, especially with the sun setting and this wind tonight. 24 miles per hour blowing from the north-northwest. That one low for ball 2, bounces out of the glove, but no advance option. Blowing out towards right field, so a huge factor today, getting gusts up into 36 mile per hour range. The 2-0 pitch now, shot on a rope to right field. That's a fair ball. Ibe rounding third. He's going to come home. There's trouble fielding it in right field, but only one runner's going to score. A double from Ethan Atkinson. And the Lumberjacks pull out to a quick 3-0 lead.
Yeah, and that's a great piece there. Just shot that ball down, hardly fair, down the right field line, and gets into the corner. Some trouble there, and scores another run. Not a great start for the Wildcats here, and take a look there. Just great in-out swing, able to push it the other direction and score another run.
So after the double from Atkinson, it's actually 2-0. Capo waiting. Gonna step off the mound. Been a little rattled up here, and I mean, I would be too. This has been not the start he wanted tonight. We talked about it. The numbers a little inflated early this season, but definitely room for improvement. Here's the first pitch. That one is in there for a strike, and a good comeback strike there for him against Kevin Durant.
Yeah, that's a good pitch there. He's just, Kampa struggled to kind of find the way he needs to pitch so far this season, and he's got great stuff. I mean, a really great off-speed pitch you see there, able to throw it on that front door, and very dominant when he does it, but then he can leave one high like that.
Shot out to right, falls in front of Ben Greer. That's going to score at least 1 run, and it will indeed as Henning comes around to score. Atkinson over to third, and Duran on as the train continues to run for the Lumberjacks.
Yeah, just another hit there, stringing them together. It's just, you know, really great small ball baseball we've seen from the Wildcats a lot this season. Really, it's the way Coach Rick McCarty wants to play his team, and they're kind of getting it in the mouth themselves there as Coach is going to take a mound visit.
Yeah, Skipper going to come out here and talk to his pitcher right now, and this has been a rough start. 3 hits for SFA, 4 runs on the board. 3 runs, pardon me. There is a scoring error on the actual physical board, but nonetheless, just a tough start for Ayancampa, but a great start for SFA, something that they've absolutely needed, Roman.
When you talk about getting beat 11-2 just a week ago, you got to come in here and you got to send that same punch to the mouth in this one. You got to make a statement early, and they're going to have to keep on the board. This is a Wildcat offense that scores a lot. They are very effective throughout the lineup, so they're going to have to, you know, continue this good start here, but then continue this throughout the game and keep the uphill advantage they have right now.
The veteran left-hander Chandler Benson, the senior out of Frisco, Texas, transfer from the University of Nebraska, warming up in the bullpen right now for Coach Rick McCarty. Probably not going to make a change here this fast, but really tough spot right now for Coach McCarty. Obviously, you don't want to waste all your arms. You got such a big season coming, big weekend coming up, pardon me. Can really define, make or break your year. As Coach McCarty's going to depart, and Kampa's going to try one more time here. Runner on first is Duran Atkinson over on third as Turgeon steps back into bat. And here's the pitch. That one is inside for a strike. Little inside action there to start off the bat, 87 on the gun. Start off with a strike like that, you can get real comfortable. Kampa kicks, deals, and bounces in front of the catcher, Nielsen, who recovers.
And that's a big block there from Nielsen. Not a crazy difficult one there, but you know, if that gets by, that probably scores a run, and then you might have a runner on second for sure, if not third.
Kampa waits and deals. Inside again, that one's a ball, so 2-1 the count now, and he's fallen behind. 2-1. Turgeon awaits. A lot of movement over on first from Duran, the deal. And that one is outside. 3-1 now to Dante Turgeon with Isaiah Garcia on deck.
And this typical situation, you might see a first and third play put on, try to score that run across, you know, without having to swing the bat, but with this much leverage, there's no reason for SFA to really do that.
Gets a defensive swing and a foul ball off to the right side. Going to be a full count now for Ayancampa, trying to get out of the inning. Rally all started with that Arias error over at shortstop. Here's the pitch. Outside, bounces down, and a walk. So bases loaded now, and a huge opportunity for the Lumberjacks to get things going with Isaiah Garcia stepping in now. There's 5 hits on the year for him. Long pause from Kampa. Bases loaded. Here's the first pitch. Off the glove, bounces away. That's going to score a run. Coming in, the throw is not in time. Called safe at the dish as Atkinson. Everyone advances a free 90 feet. And now SFA puts a 4th one on the book.
Yeah, and you just can't have that there. Jack Nielsen's got to squeeze that, hit him right in the glove. By no means a strike, but that pitch was there and it was catchable, but instead pops out and you allow another run, and they've got second and third. No double play really in the picture here with only 1 out.
Waits and deals. Here's the pitch. Outside, ball 1, or pardon me, ball 2. Long hold to pitch again. Inside, that one bounces out of the glove again of Nielsen. Once again, 4 hits, 4 runs, 1 error for the 4 hits, 4 runs for the Lumberjacks, 1 error for ACU. So we're only here in the top of the first inning with 1 out. Infield moving in now. That one gets away for ball 3 so quickly now. 3-1 once again, Roman.
Yeah, and it's just Kampa unable to get ahead in the count, just being inaccurate. He's a guy who throws a lot of off speed, so you typically are a little more wild, but if you're unable to throw any sort of strike that gets by them, I mean, I think they've hit everything that's gone in the zone. It's tough tough to be successful.
On to right field, Greer stepping back. He's going to make the catch. Tagging up at third. Here's the throw in. Looked at second, but no play there. That is going to score a run as Duran crosses the plate. 5-0 now. A 5 spot for the Lumberjacks after the sac fly from Isaiah Garcia. Dylan Hummel stepping in now. That's the bottom of the order.
Yeah, and to send 8 to the plate in this top of the first is huge for SFA. They cannot ask for a better start here, especially when the first out, your leadoff guy, the guy who's going to get your offense going, had a hard ground out and only saw 2 pitches. That's a good start for ACU, but SFA immediately able to flip the page and get on the board with 5 runs.
Hummel in now, kind of two-way player, as you see Coach McCarty coming out here to talk to his guy, and I think this might be it for Compa, and it indeed will be. Substitute pitcher coming in here at Crutcher Scott Field. Lumberjacks up 5-0 with 2 outs in the first inning. Stick with us. We'll be back in just a moment. All right, new pitcher in, right-handed pitcher Cooper Urbacek, 7.36 ERA this year, Roman, and ACU having to make some changes here after giving up a 5 spot to the Lumberjacks.
Yeah, and that ERA only coming in 6 appearances, 7 1/3 innings pitched for Urbacek. He's been solid, had a good outing against Wichita State a couple of weeks ago, and an older arm here that just needs to keep the team stable here. You're down 5 early. You let up 4 hits in the top of the first. Now you have 2 outs, but you need to get out of it here and get the bats out.
Yeah, and Ian Compa, of course, departing. Still 1 runner on for him. That's Turgeon. And talking about that, Roman, up in the 30 pitch count area here in the first inning. Obviously, we talked about a big weekend for ACU coming up. Don't want to waste those arms too much.
Right, and that's the tough thing with these midweek matchups is that you do have a day of rest on Thursday, but you're obviously going to have practice then, and you can't fly through the bullpen when you've got 3 in the weekend. So they're going to need someone tonight to step up, and, you know, Coach Rick McCarty, a pitching background guy, he's going to know how to manage this, but it's definitely not the ideal situation here on Wednesday.
Third baseman Dylan Hummel stepping in now and watches one high in the zone for ball 1. A lot of movement at second base from Turgeon. 1-0 pitch. That's high for a strike, pardon me. In the zone, 1-1 the count now, 2 outs. Of course, no double play in effect right now. Got to get the play at first if possible. Here's the pitch on the shot through the hole on the right side. It falls, and Greer loses it. Coming around to score is Turgeon. He's going to slide in safely. An RBI single to right field, bobbled by Ben Greer. And able to score is Dante Turgeon after the walk. So Dylan Hummel getting it done from the 9-hole spot as we're back to the top of the order with Ben Hashizaki.
Yeah, just great heads-up baseball there. He was going no matter what, bobble or not. Yes, 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 the whole way there. And the unfortunate drop from Ben Greer might have cost them a run, but even, you know, a single likely scores him from second there, and Wildcats down even more.
Yeah, Turgeon was showing a lot of movement over at second, ready to go. His first pitch in there for a ball on the inside. At the start of this inning, Hashizaki grounded one over to first base, played well by Grant Watkins. He tapped on the bag for the first out of the inning, and of course the second out did not come until 7 batters later. On the ground through the hole once again on the right side. That's going to advance the runner Hummel to second as the bouncing throw comes back in. So runners on first and second now, and a big opportunity for the big hitter.
Yeah, another just hard line drive on the ground there over past first base, and another great piece of hitting. The Lumberjacks just came ready to hit today. It's not that ACU is necessarily doing anything wrong. Had a couple errors in this inning, which you can't have. It just adds the snowballing kind of effect there, but SFA doing a really great job just putting the barrel on the ball, and good things are happening.
Hashizaki on first, Hummel on second. Schneider up to bat now. Schneider, of course, got on with an error over at short after a drop ball by Nick Arias. Here's the pitch, and it's watched for a strike. 1-1 the count now, 2 outs. Urbacek stepping off the mound and back on, getting ready to go. Looks back to second and deals. Pop foul behind the dish. 1-2 the count now. 1 strike from getting out of what has been a difficult inning for the ACU, pardon me. Great inning for the Lumberjacks all around. 6 runs, of course. 1-2 pitch. Herbacek looks back to second and deals. Swung on the right side, pop foul, well out of play. Defensive swings battling back and forth right now. 1-2 count. Looks in. Checking back one more time and deals the 1-2. Swung on and through the short hole. That one rolls into left field. That's going to score a run. Coming around to score is Hummel. He slides in safely. SFA continuing their onslaught. It's a 7-run first inning here at Crutcher Scott Field.
And that's just a great piece of hitting there. Nothing you can really do if you're the Wildcats. Hard ground ball in the 5-6 hole. Arias can't get there out of Hardcastle's reach, and another run comes across to score. Just everywhere SFA hits the ball, there aren't Wildcats. It's part of baseball. You got 9 guys out there, and there's a lot of ground to cover, and a great start for SFA.
Well, now a big opportunity for Ibe. And the pitch, that one high and inside. A little bit of speed on that one at 89. Runners on first and second. Schneider's at first. Hashizaki's at second. Here's the pitch. Close call there. That one's going to be a ball, though. 2-0 the count now, 2 outs. Roman, a great job by SFA to work the reliever already. Getting that pitch count up for him as well. Off speed, high, ball 3.
And you talk about the guy at the plate. Got his 20th RBI already in this inning. Scored a run, had a hit, got that RBI. A great presence at the plate, and not someone that's going to go down easy with 2 on and 2 outs.
Yeah, leads the team batting average, slugging, runs, RBIs, as watches that one high for a strike. Of course, you're going to sit on that one all day long. 3-1 the count now. Leading the team in a ton of categories, doubles, home runs, walks, had 5 RBIs against Arkansas Pine Bluff, tied for the best this season for the Lumberjacks. Here's the pitch, swing and a miss. 3-2 the count now. Beautiful curveball there.
Yeah, that's a great pitch there from Herbacek. You come in, you're just trying to clean up the mess, get it out, and you give up a couple hard hit balls in the gaps. It's not really your fault there, but he's just doing his best to battle here. Got down 3-1, and that's a great pitch though, too.
3-2 pitch, 1 pitch away from getting out of the inning. Here it goes, runners go, and no offer there, and that's gonna load the bases. A very patient at bat. And now the bases are loaded for the Lumberjacks once again. Stepping in, Mark Henning. Henning coming in tonight, slugging .404.
And he does have a home run and 2 triples, as well as a double this season so far. 13 hits.
On the ground and through into right field once again. That's going to score multiple runners. In to score is Hashizaki. Schneider coming in. Ibe slides at third. 2 more runs for the Lumberjacks. It's a 9 spot in the first inning, Roman.
Yeah, and it feels like these SFA hitters they know what's coming. They're putting the barrel on the ball early in the count, and another ball just blasted through a gap there past the diving Grant Watkins, and the Wildcats just unable to get this final out.
So a single again. That's back to back to back for the top of this order. Or pardon me, back to back a walk and then another one for the top of this order. It's been a great outing for them today. They have to be feeling good. 9 runs. In Roman, the thing that's been interesting to me is you talked about getting ahead in the count, but on SFA's end, they had to get in there and work this pitch count, and they did such a great job of doing that.
Yeah, and they did it with Compa, and now they're doing it with Herbacek. They're either swinging early and being aggressive, finding their pitch and taking it the other way, finding a gap, or they're sitting back, being patient, waiting for their pitch, and just being selective but not being, passive. And that's just led to a really great first inning.
Home plate umpire Damon Thomas goes up there and breaks Jack Nielsen away from his pitcher. Runners on the corners now. Ibe at third, Henning at first, and Atkinson back into bat. And really, Ethan Atkinson broke this scoring open for them. Had that big double early on in the inning, and brought home a couple players. So this has been quite the inning for SFA, something that we talked about. They've needed this and really brought the energy here. Atkinson waiting his first pitch, runners on first and third. 2 outs. Deals that one far and away for ball 1. Herbacek at 17 pitches here. Only a third of the way through this inning. Battery having a bit of a conversation here. Stepping back in the box now, Atkinson, and we're ready to go again. 1-0 the count. Here's the pitch. One down in the dirt. 2-0 now. 81 miles per hour on that pitch. Just can't really find the zone here. And here comes Rick McCarty once again to talk to his pitcher. 3 mound visits from Coach McCarty here in the first inning, Roman. Not what probably a lot of people expected.
Right, and this is a Wildcat pitching squad that has been really good to start the year. You have some really dominant performances. You talk about Dominic Reed last Friday night with 15 strikeouts, or 2 Fridays ago. Just struggling so far in this one, and rattled McCarty trying to find a solution.
All right, well, we've got a reliever coming in. We're going to send you to break. We'll be back here in just a moment. Stick with us here on ESPN+. Welcome back to Abilene, Texas. New pitcher on the mound as the Lumberjacks lead the Wildcats 9-0. O.J. Gonzalez, right-handed pitcher out of Lakeway, Texas, having a good season so far, Roman.
He has very limited exposure so far, only 2 1/3 innings, but 2 strikeouts, 2 walks in that. He's been effective. He hasn't done damage to his team so far this season, and while he's only gotten 7 outs, those were 7 outs. He didn't cause any, major issues, and that's what they're looking for here. They need 1 out, and then they can, just reset in that second inning. Baseball, you get 9 innings, 9 opportunities to win the inning, and the Wildcats, they got to get out of this one and get the bats out there if they're going to get digging out of this hole.
And it's kind of a dirty word in baseball, kind of a contact pitcher here, someone who not a ton of strikeouts, but like you said, has been effective in limited appearances this season for the Wildcats. He's thrown a high of 14 pitches so far this year. That was against Arkansas Pine Bluff on the first. Went 1 inning that afternoon. He continues to warm up. Working out of a 2-0 count, kind of been left a tough situation with runners on first and third right now for the Lumberjacks. That's Henning and eBay. Gonzalez continues to warm up here, throwing mid to high 70s. As for one more, and we'll be back underway. The batter right now is Atkinson. 1 for 1 on the day, had that RBI. Huge double for him early on in this inning. We're 34 minutes past first pitch. And SFA trying to make it 10 with 2 outs. Gonzalez looks in for the sign. Kicks and fires the 2-0. That one shot over to third, fielded cleanly by Hardcastle. The throw on to first in time. It took 1 pitch for O.J. Gonzalez, but the damage is done. 2 pitchers used. ACU gives up 9 runs to the Lumberjacks after a beautiful outing for their team. Stick with us. We'll be back with the bottom of the first inning. Welcome to Abilene, Texas, where the Lumberjacks lead the Wildcats 9-0. Koyos and Roman Raffelli and Dylan Mulcahy on the mound for the Lumberjacks, sophomore out of Austin, Texas. What do you know about him, Roman?
Well, 1-1 record so far this season, 17 innings pitched, a 4.76 ERA, 20 strikeouts you see there. That's the big number that jumps off the page. And in his freshman year, he got quite a bit of usage, quite a bit of exposure. Not great with the 10.29 ERA. And you look at it there, 11 strikeouts and 13 walks in those 14 innings. He's already pitched more this season than last, and he's got he's flipped the page there. He's 20 strikeouts and 8 walks versus 11 and 13. Had a great start to the year, and you know, he's coming out with 9 runs behind him there. No pressure for him. You just got to pitch your stuff and get your team a win.
Yeah, and we're going to take a look at this lineup for the Wildcats. Kind of a shaken up lineup. We'll talk about it here in just a moment, Roman, but Braden Regala leading off for the Wildcats, followed by Benjamin Greer, Grant Watkins in third, Nick Aris batting cleanup, Diego Cardenas batting fifth, Sam Hardcastle at sixth. Misi, Nielsen, and Boro round out the lineup for the Wildcats today. And Roman, we talked about it before the game between the two of us. Kind of an odd mix-up here for Rick McCarty, trying to find some things that work.
Right, and this is kind of one of those games that you can experiment a little bit with. You beat this team last week. You're familiar with them. You know kind of what it's going to be like, and obviously you don't think you're going to get punched in them out there in the top of the first like they did. But you want to try to find a different lineup, see if you have some guys that later in the season when you need, if you're in a pinch, need something to work, a Swiss Army knife type of situation, you have those, and this is one of those experimental kind of nights, but not going the way Coach McCarty had envisioned so far.
Regala shows bunt, nothing there. 1-0 now the count. Here's the pitch outside, ball 2 quickly now to Regala, who batting .588 out the leadoff position this year. .399 on the season, complemented with a .456 on-base percentage, kind of what you want out of a leadoff hitter.
Right, and you typically see Regala further back in the lineup, and Zant Payne, the shortstop, getting the night off today. But Regala, a phenomenal guy for that leadoff spot. 11 stolen bases so far this season. That's a phenomenal stat, especially from a true freshman.
And the pitch, Regala fouls that one on the left side, quickly evened up at 2-2 now. For Dylan Mulcahy. Talked about it. He's someone that's really on his way to locking himself into the lineup for SFA. That's how you start it. You get limited appearances your first season, work your way up, and that's what he's doing right now, getting the start on a midweek against a hot rival in ACU who's had quite the start to the season, as we've talked about. Regala waiting the pitch. Outside, no, in, strike 3 called. Mulcahy starting the day with a strikeout. Gets the ACU leadoff man, 1 down quickly now, Roman.
Yeah, and that's a great pitch there. Looked like a fastball with some late tail towards the plate. Looked outside, and Regala thought so as well, but then it just cut right back in on that back door. That's a great pitch and a great first batter for Mulcahy.
And that's one of those situations where the pitcher, the batter, the catcher all look back at the home plate umpire and say, what you got for us? All right, Benjamin Greer stepping in now for the Wildcats, someone who's been quite the story for ACU, worked his way obviously from the bench to a starting spot last year and then up the lineup, and here he's kind of a leader on this team, all-conference selection for the Western Athletic Conference as he cuts through that one for a strike, 1-1 the count.
Yeah, Greer, a great piece. Can play all over. We've seen him in the infield, playing right field tonight. Can also, be kind of a leadoff guy when needed, but a great Swiss Army knife for Rick McCarty.
Watches that one high and away. 2-1 the count now for Greer, who's batting .276. Kind of a cold start to the season for him. Not what a lot of people expect out of a preseason selection like Greer. Finding his groove, though, at the right time for ACU. Watches the 2-1. That one going to be up there for 3-1.
And you talk about that preseason selection, almost something that can work against you, because guys see that and they say, okay, I got to give this guy my best stuff. I got to be my sharpest, and, that's gotten the better of him so far this year.
Gonna sit on the 3-1 and watch it low for ball 4. Benjamin Greer gets on now, so runner on first for the Wildcats with 1 out, and Grant Watkins stepping in, quite the batter for ACU.
Yeah, you talk about the guy leading the team in home runs this season. Had a pair of them at Globe Life Field a couple of weeks ago against Wichita State. Went 4 for 5 in that game with a pair of doubles as well. Really great hitter coming out of the portal for Rick McCarty. He sure found himself a diamond in the rough with Grant Watkins, and they're going to need an impact from him here tonight.
Yeah, the junior from Amarillo College leads the team in a handful of stats. Watches that one low for a ball. Of course, big stat there. Home runs, slugging, doubles, everything you really want out of a first baseman. Had some big shoes to fill. DJ Van Atten stepping away after last season, graduating, and Rick McCarty knows how to find him a first base slugger. It's again 9-0, SFA leads Runner on first is Greer. He's got some wheels under him, and Rick McCarty will use them. 1-0 pitch to Watkins. Watches that one outside for a ball. Wind favoring Watkins today if he can pull one on the right side. Of course, we talked about it. Getting those gusts up into 35, 38 mile per hour range. Those flags are fighting for their lives right now. Pitch, Greer goes. Gonna be a throw to second, the slide, he's safe. A good throw from Atkinson, not in time though on the bounce, and Ben Greer, another steal for him. That's number 12 on the year for the veteran player.
And that's he had a great jump there. I looked like they almost pitched him out, a ball outside there, but unable to get Greer. A great call from the ACU coaching staff, and then great execution from Ben Greer.
Here's the pitch now to Watkins, outside for a ball, and he's gonna take his base. Back-to-back walks, runners on first and second. Nick Arias stepping in now, and if you're Grant Watkins, you don't want to get too used to seeing stuff inside the zone.
Right, and for SFA, you have some wiggle room there. You've got a 9-run lead in the bottom of the first, excuse me. So 3-0 count. You don't need to force it and really just hand it to the hottest bat in the lineup for the Wildcats. You can pitch around him a little bit, maybe get him to roll some over, but then you give up the stolen base and say, you know what, we'll give him first base and we'll go get the other guy.
First pitch, strike to Arias. Watches that one. Transfer from Pima Community College. A good outing, a couple good outings this year. 4 hits versus Illinois on February 14th. Kind of early jitters as Greer goes. That one bounces behind the plate. Greer's going to slide in and think about going home, but no play to be made there. Runners on second and third now as Watkins advances also. Take a look at it.
Just a beautiful, choice there from Ben Greer. Took his lead really late and was making a lot of movement there, and then took off pretty early. Looks like Mulcahy kind of saw that, and it caused him to spike that pitch there. Catcher was looking at Greer for sure, and just forced the errors. Now you got 2 in scoring position with 1 out.
Off-speed action outside and low for a ball. 2-1 the count now, 1 out. Greer on third, Watkins on second. You talking about Ben Greer, I mean, he's a guy that every series will give you a handful of hits and a handful of stolen bases, which is right up Rick McCarty's alley. There's a strike.
And this Wildcat team just very well rounded. I mean, they torch the base paths every single game. They apply pressure to their teams and force them to either make the play or force the error, and we saw that there.
Pitch to Arias as he shoots that one off the end of the bat. It's going to roll over to first, and a quick toss over to the pitcher as Ben Greer comes around to score. Wildcats have one on the board now. It's an 8-run lead for SFA after the sac hit on the right side.
Yeah, and a nice pitcher fielding play there. Soft ground ball to first base. Those can be ones that trip you up, those in-betweeners there, but good communication, good play there. The Wildcats scratch one across, but if you're SFA, you're more than okay with that because now you got 2 outs with a runner in scoring position still.
Watkins on third. Diego Cardenas stepping in now. Long pause in the pitch. Off speed, low and inside. 1-0 the count. Cardenas, the transfer from El Paso Community College. Watches one up for ball 2. So 2-0 the count now, 2 outs. Looks like Dylan Mulcahy's kind of had a bit more control of the zone than the ACU pitchers did. 2-0 pitch is teed off, popped up center field. The wind's going to eat that one up. Hajizaki moving over, and he's going to make the play in time for the 3rd out of the inning. Wildcats scratch one across on the back of 2 walks and a couple stolen bases. SFA leads 9-1. Stick with us. We're headed to the 2nd inning. Welcome back to Abilene, Texas, ACU and SFA. The Lumberjacks running away with this one. Coy Oslin, Roman Raffelli here at the beautifully renovated Crutchers Scott Field on a nice but windy night here in Abilene, Texas. And returning to the mound, OJ Gonzalez, the 3rd pitcher of the 1st inning, Roman. Took him 1 pitch to get out of the inning. Came in with runners on first and third and got out of a jam there, but the damage was already done. It is an 8-run lead for SFA after that 9 spot.
Right, and if you're ACU here, you just have to wipe it, turn the page, and move on. You're down 8 runs here. You got 1 back in the first, but you didn't win that inning. You have 8 more here to go win those. Climb back into this piece by piece. You can't get it all back in one pitch. OJ Gonzalez here just needs to continue to not do damage. He's done a great job of that so far this season for the Wildcats. And an arm Rick McCarty trusts here, but is also looking for some growth out of the redshirt freshman in this one. Just needs to have a good second inning here.
And it's going to be Kevin Duran leading off. Had a single back in that productive first inning. One of about 5 players that had a single for the Lumberjacks. Up 9-1, first pitch from Gonzalez is swung on and miss and a big whiff. We felt the wind off that one up here in the press box. Duran swings through that one quickly. 0-1 now for Gonzalez. We talked about it. Good start to the season for him, kind of improving on some numbers from last year. Well, off-speed action inside the zone for strike 2. So quickly 0-2 now for Gonzalez.
You see the large swing from Duran to start this at bat, and then a great backdoor off-speed pitch there from Gonzalez.
That one fouled back on the netting, so we're going to keep it with 0-2 and try one more time. Gonzalez returns to the mound. Little pause on both ends. Duran waiting the 0-2 now. Swung on and missed, strike 3 called, OJ Gonzalez. First strikeout of the day for ACU after a struggle-filled first inning, and kind of a good momentum setter here in the second inning, Roman. When
you said it last inning when he came into the game, OJ Gonzalez, not really a strikeout guy, a pitch to contact, young arm, just wants to let the defense work, but able to get a strikeout there, an efficient one, a quick one, and that's a great start to the second inning.
All right, Dante Turgeon stepping in now, walked back in that first inning, came around and scored, of course. Now, if I've learned anything about 5 years now, Roman, if you say it, they're going to prove you wrong that very day. And good for OJ Gonzalez to do that. A big whiff at that one. Quickly now, 0-2. Gonzalez just 3 strikeouts on the year, trying to work back-to-back against SFA. What has he got? 0-2 pitch from OJ Gonzalez. Hit off the end of the bat. That one's going to fall in front of Greer for a base hit. Turgeon gets on for the second time today, and SFA, remnants of what happened in the first inning, 1 out and a runner on now for OJ Gonzalez.
And not a bad pitch there, a little high and away fastball. Might have just either not gotten it on the edge enough or just leaked where he didn't want it there. That's a great piece of hitting to take it the other way, but no damage done for the Wildcats. Gonzalez just got to get a ground ball here.
Attempt to offer at it. They're going to appeal to first and say that Garcia swung through. Garcia was the second out of the first inning.
And he hits from the 8th spot.
The shortstop watches and whiffs at that one. Challenged up at the top of the zone, 87 on the gun for Gonzalez. Turgeon on first. Quickly, another 0-2 count for OJ Gonzalez. Huge gap on the right side of the infield. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strikeout number 2 for OJ Gonzalez in the inning. Swing and a miss. Beautiful pitch there from Gonzalez. Season high of strikeouts in an inning for him already.
Yeah, doing a great job just setting the tempo here in the second. You got beat bad in the first, but you got to come out, make a statement, let them know you're not just going to back down because you're down 8 runs in the second. OJ Gonzalez doing a great job leading that charge for ACU.
Hummel stepping in now, watches one for a ball. Hummel came around and scored off a single, the 9-hole batter, in the first. Though after that first inning, I feel like that should be implied. Pops that one up on the right side, retreating his Greer, going back at the track, at the wall. Greer's going to slow up and make the catch just on the edge of the warning track. 4 up, 3 down for O.J. Gonzalez, and a great outing for him. 2 strikeouts. Lumberjacks lead 9-1. We're headed to the bottom of the second inning here on ESPN+. Stick with us. Blowing in West Texas, something that obviously you're from here, you know, but hey, it's cold under the awning, and obviously they built this awning this year, Roman, to get out of the hot Texas sun, but kind of early in the season, there is a couple downsides to it.
Right, the wind's still ever present here in Abilene. Flat West Texas here, and has some effect on the game. Not so much so far in this one, but something to be aware of as we move forward.
And you get into the dog days of April and get hot, and that'll be much more worth it. So looking at ACU, O.J. Gonzalez back on the mound at 15 pitches. Roman is high this year, 14, getting a bit of a longer leash here from Coach McCarty.
Right, and that's what they need here. You're down 8. You're not really in a position to win this game right now, so you can give your younger guy the ball, let him work and grow a little bit here, and just kind of see what he's got. Had a great second inning in him, and now back out for the third.
Be the leadoff man, Ben Hashizaki, who swings at that one, fouls it off onto the right side. Gonzalez, a pretty productive last inning. 2 strikeouts and a pop fly to right field through 4 batters, so 13 pitches for him in that inning. Waits and fires the 0-1 pitch, and Hashizaki not going to swing at that one. 0-2 the count now. Chalked foul into the ACU dugout. So 1-2 now, and we've kind of seen it from Gonzalez going high with some heat in these 2-strike appearances. SFA leads ACU. 1-2 pitch, pardon me. Goes with the high heat, and it's away for ball 2. Knotted up at 2 apiece now.
And Gonzalez with a 2-seam fastball there is going to ride to the arm side and just lost control of that one a little bit. Rode a little too much. Got just a tad under it and not in for a strike.
2-2 pitch. That one in there for a called third strike. Third strikeout of the night for O.J. Gonzalez, and the transfer player having a good outing for ACU right now.
Yeah, and that's a great pitch there, just setting the tone again here, trying to give his team another chance to climb back in this one. That's a great first pitch, and you mentioned it, Gonzalez more of a contact pitcher, very productive, but he's seen the aggressiveness that SFA is going to come at him with, and he's just locating pitches and kind of being a master of the craft of just knowing where to throw the ball, because he's not going to throw it by him necessarily, and his stuff isn't going to be great enough to sneak it past them, but he's going to outgame them in another way.
Cooper Schneider in now to bat. 1 for 2 on the day, reached both times though, once with an error on the ground to third, fielded cleanly. The throw on to first from Hardcastle to Watkins for the second out of the inning.
Yeah, that's a great play there. Moving to his left, Hardcastle, a pretty standard corners guy for ACU. It's a great play there.
And you talk about it, just clean fielding on that left-hand side of the infield. You like a guy that can move on a dart like that. Got to have that throw power, of course, playing at the hot corner. All right, Josh Ibe stepping in now, had a single back in the first inning and then came back around and walked in the same inning. Did not come around and score for a second time, however, ended up stranded at third. Swings at that one and crushes it. Left center field alley, and that one is long gone. Josh Ibe with a huge home run line drive out into left field, and that's run number 10 for SFA. Now they lead 10-1.
Yeah, and that's a great piece of hitting there. Just found the sweet spot on the barrel and sent goodbye into left center field. Great piece there. Got a little bit of help from the wind and adds onto this run. Adds onto this lead, excuse me, with another run.
Yeah, take a look at this pitch really quickly here. Just teed up on that one right across the plate where he wants it. I didn't really think that one had a chance, Roman. It just carried and carried and carried. Just a really solid piece of hitting for Ibe. So Mark Henning stepping in now after the solo shot. Chance to do more damage for him. Had a single back in the first inning. or 2 singles actually. Fielder's choice was his second time getting on. So 2-0 count now. 2 Henning with 2 outs. Gonzalez pauses and deals. Low in the dirt quickly now. 3-0 the count to Henning with Atkinson on deck. And the 3-0 pitch. In there for a strike. Good comeback pitch there for Gonzalez.
Yeah, that's a big answer there. You get down 3-0 after giving up the home run, and you just got to settle back in here. You're 1 pitch away from getting out of this inning.
Here's a pitch on the ground, and no play going to be able to be made at the second base spot by Misi. That one's going to roll out to center field, and Regali going to have to throw it back in a single here for Henning, his second of the day.
And Henning just finding gaps and putting the barrel on the ball, doing a great job, being a really solid 4-hole hitter for his team tonight.
So Henning on first now. Atkinson stepping in, and obviously a big double for him back in the first inning. Really opened up scoring for this SFA team as he swings at that one, fouls it off into the parking lot. That home run, by the way, that was Gonzalez's first earned run of the season and his first run of the season. Only 3 hits for him so far this year. We've seen 2 of them in this inning. Long pause on the 0-1 count. Here's the deal. Went high and away. So 1-1 now the count. Henning on first. Sun continuing to set here in Abilene, Texas. 1-1 pitch. Swung, popped back, and down into the seats. Be a 1-2 count now. 1 strike away from getting out of this inning once again for Gonzalez.
And Gonzalez done a great job this season, like we said a few minutes ago. Just not hurting his team, gives up the home run and then a single, but able to battle back and get ahead in this one. 1 pitch away of going to the bottom of the half.
Big 1-2 pitch here from Gonzalez. He deals. That one bounces in there, and a quick look over to first. Henning going to retreat back. Another long look from Gonzalez on a 2-2 count, 2 outs. Kicks and deals. That one shot left side. That one's got some distance. The wind's going to catch it, and it's going to fall into the glove of Reese Boro and in the inning. But the solo home run from Josh Ibe does it for the Lumberjacks. They lead 10-1, regaining their 9-run lead. Stick with us here on ESPN+. Koyos and Roman Raffelli here at Crutcher Scott Field as the sun starts to set. We're in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Stephen F. Austin leads ACU 10-1 here in the 2nd game of their home this year. And Roman, we were talking about it throughout the break. Josh Ibe, the designated hitter for SFA, that big home run for them, something that he's shown all season long he can do, and really turning into a leader for this club.
Right, very talented hitter, just comes effortlessly. You look back at the home run swing, hardly got anything behind that, but he found the barrel and just let the ball and the wind work for him. Sent that ball probably 20 feet over the left center wall. Really great piece of hitting there and just doing a great job for his team so far tonight.
All right, back to the ACU order. Braden Regala stepping in now, struck out looking in the 1st inning. This is his 2nd time up facing Mulcahy. As he swings through that one for strike 2, pardon me. Mulcahy, 36 pitches for him in this one, 2 strikeouts and 1 earned run through 2 innings pitched. He's looked pretty good despite that comebacker that he had in the 2nd inning, Roman.
Yeah, done a great job, even battling back. You talk about letting the runner on to lead off that last inning with the comebacker off his hand, and then hits gives up a hard single up the middle, but then doesn't allow a run and gets out of it and comes back out.
1-1 pitch high for a ball. 2-1 now the count to Regala. Regala, a good choice for this leadoff spot, batting .556 this year for the Wildcats in that position. Watches the 2-1. It's going to be a strike, so 2-2 the count now. Mulcahy trying to work another strikeout here. 2 so far today. 2-2 pitch. That one's low. 3-2 the count now. 75 miles per hour on the off speed there.
Come on, Reggie. Come Rick.
Here's the payoff pitch. 3-2. Swing and a miss. Dylan Mulcahy with another great strikeout for the Lumberjacks. Really working these ACU hitters today.
Yeah, doing a great job, just varying his counts, varying his sequences, just keeping them on their heels, not knowing what to expect. That's a great pitch there. A high off-speed pitch, not something you see super often, but able to get a more inexperienced, true freshman like Regala to swing and miss.
Not something you want to see if you're Rick McCarney, your leadoff batter, strikes out twice in the game. Ben Greer stepping in now. He's the only Wildcat who scored today. He walked back in the first inning and stole a base, then got a free base, and then came in to score on a sac hit. Will not offer at that one, though. 1-1 the count. Long pause and a pitch. Popped up. A lot of contact on that one. The wind's going to eat it up. Could be a difficult play. Garcia in some confusion. Ben Greer rounding over to second now. Duran came over from second base, I believe, in an attempt to field that one next to Garcia, along with Hashizaki and Turgeon, and just a bunch of confusion out in center field.
Yeah, the wind swirling there, and Duran coming over from second base, outran it there, just fell behind him, took a nice big hop off this brand new turf here in Abilene, and a nice double with 1 out from Benjamin Greer.
And Garcia, I think he thought Duran was much closer to him, able to make that play. So after the error, Ben Greer on second. Low for ball 1 on the first pitch to Grant Watkins. He walked as well in the first inning. That one in there for a strike. First hit of the night for Greer on that double, by the way. Watkins batting .329 this year. Look back as Greer stepped off in a shallow toss for almost no reason. Falls out into center field. Greer going to advance to third. A questionable move there to avoid what I believe would have probably been a balk there, Roman.
So the pitcher there, with the move he made, has to let go of the ball there, but kind of hesitated, didn't realize what he was doing, dropped the elbow, and then just flicked it right over. Take a look there.
Yeah,
probably could have
sure
called
enough.
the balk anyways with how delayed and how many steps were there, but a free base for the Wildcats is a free base for the Wildcats, and now a mound visit being used to calm him down and reset.
Yeah, Greer on third now, and that's what I was talking about. It wasn't called a balk very quickly like usually, and it was just odd to me. Maybe don't even throw it at that point, see what you can get away with. But either way, that one floats out into center field over the glove of Garcia. So Greer over on third now. That's what Ben Greer can do that. He's a tricky player on the banks. We talked about it. He'll get you a handful of hits and a handful of steals during a weekend. Showing a little bit of everything tonight. Back-to-back tough plays for SFA now. 1-1 count to Watkins, 1 out. He's going to watch that one on the outside of the zone. Doesn't want to swing at it.
When we're seeing a similar thing from what we saw in the first inning, Benjamin Greer got on base with a walk, stole second, and then stole third in kind of an unconventional way. Took a late lead and then took off a little bit early, actually. And just got in Mulcahy's head on the mound. And now we're seeing them kind of pitch around Grant Watkins. Don't want to give him something to, get a real barrel on with the runner in scoring position.
That one fouled off the netting. 2-2 the count now to Watkins. Okay, looking in for the sign and deals. Low ball 3, so full count now to Watkins, who's already walked in this game. Nick Arias on deck. 3-2 pitch. Fouled back. Battling back now. Mulcahy gets a defensive swing. 87 miles per hour on the gun for that one.
That's the point of all of this, is to cut off a day.
And a good job spoiling a pitch to get his pitch potentially here from Grant Watkins.
Full count, here's the pitch. Shot off the toe of the bat. That one gonna arc over near the bullpen and fall foul out of play. So again, 3-2 count. Really working the pitches here is Grant Watkins.
Yeah, doing a great job just being patient, waiting for his pitch. 12 extra base hits on the year and looking for another one here.
Full count the pitch, that one off the foot of Watkins. He's gonna take his base. Not sure if he was hit by it directly or if it bounced in front of him, but either way, it's a free bag for Grant Watkins, stepping in Nick Arias.
It'll be interesting to see here what Rick McCarty and this ACU coaching staff want to do. You got runners on first and third with one out, but Grant Watkins at first. Not the speediest guy, might be a little bit tough to pull off a first and third move here, though Greer at third base. Very good base runner, as we've been talking about throughout this inning.
Same scenario Arias had in the first inning. He grounded into an out with a sac hit that scored Greer in that scenario. Big chance for him now to do some damage. Runners on the corner. 1-0 pitch. Arias gonna watch that one as well. And you talked about Watkins running, maybe not the fastest player, but we saw the first kind of heads-up guy, really aware on the base paths. We saw that with that wild pitch. That one inside at the hands to Arias. So, shortstop working out of a 3-0 count with Diego Cardenas on deck. 3-0 pitch. That one's high. Ball 4. Bases loaded for the Wildcats and Cardenas.
Yeah, and that's a really bad at bat for Mulcahy there. You have the right on right matchup with, not a power hitter per se. Got a few home runs on the year for the Wildcats, but just a contact guy who's going to want to live in the gaps. And now you bring up a left-hander, you lose the off-speed advantage, and also a power bat with the bases loaded, exactly what the Wildcats want.
And you talk about Cardenas, someone that's got a lot of slug in his bat. 529 on the year for him. He awaits the first pitch. He's going to look at it. Ball 1 to Diego Cardenas. This year, 17 walks, 17 strikeouts for the ACU DH.
Batting 1,000 on the year with the bases loaded. Key stat here.
So pitch fouls that one back on the left side off the netting and down. Cardenas, the type of guy you want to have in this spot. Bases loaded, like you said, batting 1,000 this year. Limited appearances, of course. Doesn't happen all the time, but that's still a worthy stat.
Well, it's big for him because he got a lot of weight in the bat. Does not have to exert himself too much on a single pitch.
Lifts it on the right side. This one might have a chance. Going back at the wall is Schneider. It's gone! Grand slam, Diego Cardenas unloads the bags on one to right field. Whether the wind had it or not, ACU gets 4 runs. It's 10-5 in Abilene, Texas.
When you were just waiting and waiting and waiting to see if that would come down on the right side of that wall. And it snuck across, as I said it there, does not have to put a lot of effort behind that. Got way under that ball, but knows the ballpark, and Mulcahy kind of smiling there, celebrating in the dugout. And that's a huge piece for Diego Cardenas. Bases loaded, says goodbye to that one there, and no doubt about that.
That one carried forever. I was sure it was a flyout, but we talked about it. That wind is blowing not as hard as it was, but still pretty effective. And Cardenas just uncoils on one to right field, and I'm not really sure where that one would have landed, Roman. Mound visit here for Ethan Atkinson, gonna go talk to his pitcher. It is a whole new ball game. 10-5. SFA leads ACU at 1 point. Well, 2 points. They had a 9-run lead, but 1 out now, and damage working through here in this ACU lineup with Sam Hardcastle stepping in.
Well, it all started with that Benjamin Greer pop-up that got down for the double and then finds his way to third base by essentially a steal, but a forced error really, and then the Wildcats just chipping away, small balling their way on base, and then you get the big piece from Diego Cardenas, and now you got a 5-run deficit.
10-5 SFA leads ACU. Hardcastle waits, swings at that one now, out into center field. Moving over is Hashizaki, and a great play coming in from the right side. Cooper Schneider runs in and snags that one for the 2nd out of the inning.
And it looked like that was going to be trouble. They're kind of in no man's land, really shallow outfield and deep second base spot, but able to make the play is Schneider, and that's a big 2nd out here with the first one coming with the leadoff and a few batters since then.
So 2 outs now. Misi stepping in and gonna watch that one high. Strike 1 now to Maddox Misi. Misi singled back in the 2nd. Good piece of hitting. We talked about it up the middle. 233 on the year for him, 495 on base percentage, and always likes to take one off the elbow if he can. Almost had a chance on that one, but 1-1 the count now.
Yeah, and Meese just a really hard-nosed, tough baseball player for Coach McCarty. You're going to find any way possible to get on base and prove beneficial for his team.
Shoots the 1-1 off the bat. That one going to go over to the batting cages on the right-hand side and out of play. So 1-2 the count now. 2 outs for Dylan Mulcahy, who was off to a pretty good start prior to the Grand Slam. Just a series of rather unfortunate events brought all batters around. Swing and a miss. Going to end the inning, though, with a strikeout. Dylan Mulcahy with number 4 on the day, but ACU, a big 4-run shot from their DH, Diego Cardenas. Stick with us. They're celebrating with the big man here on ESPN+. Welcome back, Abilene, Texas. Coelson, Roman Raffelli. SFA leading ACU by 5. O.J. Gonzalez back on the mound for Rick McCarty's Wildcats. Had a good inning in the 3rd inning. Not super impressive. Gave up that big home run, but, I mean, Josh Ebe going to hit that ball every time like that. No effort on that home run. But other than that, O.J. Gonzalez looking pretty impressive tonight.
Right, what we've been talking about is his ability to just do his job. Let the guys work behind him, get ground balls, force some contact, but he's been able to strike some guys out as well. He's just not hurting his team by being out there. He's doing a great job, calling the pitches, throwing the pitches that have been called, and letting his team hang in this game so far.
Well, Gonzalez at 34 pitches right now. That's his career high, and with that pitch as it's tattooed on the right side, going back, and it's going to arc foul. Hard hit ball by Kevin Duran on the right side. Duran tonight has a single back at the first, struck out in the 2nd. Huge foul ball from him there. As I was saying, though, 35th pitch from O.J. Gonzalez. That's a career high at ACU for him. So we talked about it. Long leash for him tonight. Looking pretty good.
Right, and talk about the redshirt freshman here. Had a few outings last year as a true freshman, but not a ton for the Wildcats. And now this year, getting some longer opportunities, some bigger opportunities. And here tonight, you get handed the ball down a lot, and you're just trying to get your team an opportunity to battle back, and he's doing just that.
Here's the pitch, and a strike. 0-2 now the count to Duran. Gonzalez, of course, looking like he's going to be someone who sticks around ACU for quite a while here in his 2nd year at the team. Came in as a true freshman. 0-2 pitch from Gonzalez. That one bounces in the dirt, recovered cleanly, and thrown back in by Nielsen.
Yeah, that's not a bad pitch there, not what you want, but you didn't give up damage when you have the leverage here. 0-2, you reset the eye level now, and you can get back in the zone here and try to get the out.
1-2 pitch now from Gonzalez. Same location. That one just almost got away from Nielsen. Not going to matter in this scenario. Trying to work that outside edge.
And you got to be careful here. You're giving up a couple of balls. Now you need to get back in, at least get something fouled off. Don't want to fall behind here.
2-2 pitch, swing and a miss. O.J. Gonzalez, number 4 on the day for the red shirt freshman. Bumping that ERA down once again. Just a great outing from him, Roman, after what had been a terrible start, really, for ACU. It's hard to find the right word there. It was just not what they expected. Had 2 veteran players come in, did not have it work out, and now Gonzalez picking up the slack. Turgeon stepping in now for SFA, Dante Turgeon. He walked back in the first and had a single in the second. Has not come around and scored, though, one of the few on this roster that has not done so tonight. Watching one there, high strike from Gonzalez.
And Gonzalez is doing a great job. Like we said, nothing overpowering with the fastball. Got a really solid off-speed pitch, but locating and just carving up batters really effectively.
1-1 low and away, going to be a 2-1 count. Now there's a right-hander warming up in the ACU bullpen right now. We can get an angle on who it is, we'll let you know. 1-1 pitch from Gonzalez. That one is corked up the middle. That one is a no-doubter. It's back and it's gone. Dante Turgeon with a bomb through center field. SFA tacks on another one. It's 11-5 in Abilene, Texas.
Yeah, and with the bomb comes a bat flip. Knew that one was gone before he stepped out of the box. Found a barrel, and that's been the issue with OJ here tonight. Found a couple barrels. SFA did off of him, and those balls are no longer with us.
I mean, just tattooed it, a no-doubter.
I'm OJ right back in.
And that's using your whole extension there. That's all form. You hit one like that, it's gone no matter where you're playing, what the wind is. First pitch now to Isaiah Garcia. Tough night for him tonight. Got a sac fly RBI, though, in the first, but struck out in the second. So quite at bats from him, but got the run across with runners in scoring position. 0-2 quickly now to Garcia from Gonzalez. That's what he did against eBay back in the 3rd inning. Roman, he really worked back after that home run and found some quick strikes. He's doing it here now on the 0-2. To Garcia, swing and a miss. That one was far and away outside, but Garcia goes swinging for it, and Gonzalez gets another strikeout on the night.
Right, and we're talking about a guy who's been really good and is 2 pitches away from having an excellent appearance here, stacking together some really good at-bats, and he's just pitching ahead in the count. He's getting 2 strikes early, and he's working quickly, keeping the batters back on their heels.
If you're Rick McCarty, you got to be noting, what this guy's done tonight as you get late in the stretch. Some guys may go down. Some guys may need an evening or two to take a break, and Gonzalez has proved himself. Quickly here in an 0-1 count with Dylan Hummel, the 9-hole hitter, and swings through that one for another quick 0-2 count for Gonzalez.
Yeah, he's doing a great job. I mean, he's got several 0-2 or 1-2 counts since coming in to this game.
0-2 pitch. Just going to scrape the outside. 1-2 the count now. Low and away is the call on the pitch, so going to try it one more time is O.J. Gonzalez. What has he got? 1-2 pitch coming in on the ground to short. Fielded cleanly by Arias. The throw on to first. Watkins is there, but another run comes across on a long bomb from Dante Turgeon. SFA leads 11-5. Stick with us. We're headed to the bottom of the 4th. Blaine Zelpin on the mound, coming in to relieve Dylan Mulcahy, who had quite a good outing before the grand slam in the 3rd inning. Coy Oslin, Roman Raffelli here at Crutcher Scott Field, where SFA leads ACU 11-5. And this year, Zeppelin, what do you know about him?
Well, he's got 5 1/3 innings under his belt, 6 hits, 5 earned runs. 4 walks, a couple of strikeouts, and entering with an ugly 8.44 ERA, a 1.88 WHIP, and a 1-2 record in 5 appearances. A solid arm, but just had a couple tough innings, and the stats show that very well. But coming in with a 6-run lead here, and the Wildcats had a great last inning, but you can't let that snowball if you're the Lumberjacks here. You need to have a quick inning, an effective inning, and continue to be dominant with this big lead.
Well, the transfer out of Seminole State College is going to take on the Wildcats as that one off the tip of the glove, and it rolls behind the catcher. Jack Nelson stepping in now, grounded into a double play to end the second inning, or pardon me, second out of the second inning. Coming up now, batting .333 this season. Another good pitch there. Zeppelin finding the zone, 1-1 count now. 1-1 pitch, that one high for a ball. 2-1 the count now.
Yeah, I think that's about where they wanted it. Certainly, catcher set up in about that spot, just missed a little bit inside.
2-1 pitch. That one hit pretty hard, but foul. Rolling over to attempt to make a play, and indeed he will. That's Mark Henning on the first baseline. Gonna get the pop foul for the first out of the inning. Reese Boro stepping up now.
Yeah, Nielsen just kind of poked at it, was certainly late on it and got under, and not a great use of your leadoff there, but Reese Boro, a guy who can maybe put down a drag bunt here, push one down the third base line, and act as a leadoff here.
He did that a couple of times last year. He can really get under a ball if he gets the chance. Just trying to find his groove at this level. Quickly now 2-0 to Boro. Here's the 2-0 pitch now from Zeppelin, and quickly 3-0 now to Boro this season. Just 6 walks to 9 strikeouts for Reese, and on deck right now for ACU, the leadoff man, Braden Regala. In there for a strike, and 3-1 the count now. A lot of an uphill climb still to come for Zeppelin, though. Down this far in the count. Some wiggle room, though. We've talked about it 1,000 times. 11-5 lead. That one outside for ball 4. So runner on first now for the leadoff man, Braden Regala.
And these two were 27 and 28, actually teammates at Wiley High School here in South Abilene. A great outfield tandem. Boro a year older and now welcoming, in a sense, a little brother in Braden Regala here, and gonna look to do some damage as the dynamic duo.
Well, Regala, what I like about him, he really crowds the plate when he gets up there. Very upfront leadoff guy. We talked about it early on, someone that can kind of bring the whole package to you if you want him to lead off a game. He's done a great job this year in that spot like we talked about. So runner on first for him, that's Boro. Here's a pause and a pitch. That one off-speed action outside, so 1-1 the count now.
Well, what I've really liked from Regala tonight is his confidence at the plate despite the 2 strikeouts. You see a really close pitch there, but he's not extending the zone even though he's 0 for 2 with a couple of Ks.
Can't offer that one. It's a strike right there. 1-2 the count now. Good pitch from Zeppelin.
And it's something we've seen a lot from every Lumberjack pitcher tonight, is using that off-speed pitch and just touching that outside corner, that back door, being really effective.
Fouled off on the left side now, so 2-2 the count. Zeppelin this season's gone as far as 1 2/3 innings against Purdue. On February 14th, he gave up 2 runs in that outing, though. Only 2 strikeouts this season, though. That one bounces down and away. Boro gonna trot over to second. Thought about picking it up, heading over to third, but return is in time. So Boro on second now for Regala, and gotta get something going here. 2 strikeouts on the day for the ACU leadoff man, and a chance to do something special if he can. Scoring position, ACU, the innings are Still young, but they're going to run out eventually. Here's the pitch. Down at the shoes again. They're going to peel over to third, and third base umpire Christian Watson going to say, no, he did not go. So full count now. Regala working back in here. Runner on second is Boro. Zeppelin looks back to second. Looks again. Kicks and deals. Swung and fouled on the left side, well out of play and into the bleachers.
And this is a great at-bat from Braden Regala there. You strike out twice and you think confidence may dwindle off a little bit with that third at-bat, but he's stepped in there, put together a really nice at-bat. After getting 2 strikes on him early, fouled a couple off, watched a couple good pitches, got his guy over to second base, and now looking to put one in play, potentially score a run.
Full count pitch, it's a ball, so another walk here from Zeppelin. He's got runners on first and second now, and Benjamin Greer's been on twice today, stepping in the box.
Definitely not who you want to see walking up if you are SFA here.
You got runners on first and second, one out, getting back into the heart of that AC order, and I mean, there are some guys that can do some damage up at the top. First and second for Greer, who watches a off-speed pitch low in the zone there.
Well, not only do you have a lot of damage in this middle part of the lineup, you've now walked 2 consecutive left-handed batters, and you have 2 more here before you get to Nick Arias batting from the right side.
0-1 pitch to Greer, not going to watch that. Bit of confusion. Greer was waving Boro over to third. Reese with a heads-up decision not to go. Kind of got a little distance from the bag, though. Good recovery there from Atkinson, the catcher for SFA, and a mound visit here from skipper Matt Vanderberg. Substitute pitcher coming in here after only a 17-pitch inning for Blaine Zeppelin. Stick with us here on ESPN+. We'll be back in just a moment. So switching things up once again here in the 4th inning. Coming onto the mound now is Jack James, the junior left-handed pitcher out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. What do you know about him, Roman?
Well, had some good usage and a really solid arm for this Stephen F. Austin team. A 3.38 ERA coming into tonight, a 1.38 whip, 9 appearances, no starts, 8 innings pitched, 7 hits, 3 runs, all earned, 4 walks, 7 strikeouts, giving up a couple doubles, 1 home run, and an opponent batting average against of just .233. He's been really solid, kind of a contact pitcher like we've seen tonight from OJ Gonzalez, but he's going to need to get a couple big outs here. We see Benjamin Greer flipping over to the right side as a switch hitter with a 2-0 count.
So Greer stepping back in the box, runners on first and second, and uncorks on the first one. Going back is Schneider at the track, at the wall. It's off the base of the wall. Runners are going to score. Coming around is Boro, followed by Regala. Regala's coming home. Sliding into third is Greer. The throw not in time. 2-run score for ACU on a big hit off the wall from Benjamin Greer. It's 11-7 in Abilene, Texas.
Yeah, and that's a huge piece there from Benjamin Greer. The Wildcats get on the previous relief pitcher with a couple of lefties. They bring in a lefty to counter this one, but it's a switch hitter, and then Benjamin Greer just unloads on a ball to right field, kicks off the wall. Misplayed a little bit there from SFA, shot away, and Benjamin Greer's got himself a triple and scores 2 runs.
So it took 1 pitch for Benjamin Greer to figure out Jack James. I was about to say to you, James, the only team that's had his number this year was ACU back on the 12th. He threw 2/3 of an inning against the Wildcats, gave up 2 runs, and already 2 runs across for him as this one popped up on the left side by Watkins. Fielded cleanly. Greer going to tag up, the throw coming in, and not going to burn Greer on that one. ACU now within 3 of the Lumberjacks.
Yeah, that's a great piece there from Grant Watkins, just getting a job done. Gonna get some hugs and high fives from the team there in the dugout, climbing back into this one. We said it, you can't panic if you get down early, and that's what this coaching staff, this very experienced coaching staff, told their team, and they just chip away and chip away and chip away, and now you're right back in this game here in the bottom of the fourth.
So, developing story as Arias unloads on this one to right field. It's going to be playable on the right side for Schneider. But Schneider already saw the damage done. Ben Greer, a big triple for ACU off the right field wall, scored 2 runs, then he comes in on a sac fly. ACU trails 11-8 over against SFA. Stick with us here on ESPN Plus. Welcome back, Abilene, Texas. New pitcher on the mound for ACU. They're working their way back into this one. It's been a pretty tough outing for ACU, but they've found their groove here, and a new right-handed pitcher on the mound for the Wildcats. That's going to be, pardon me, Colin Huspin, the right-handed pitcher out of Allen, Texas, for ACU this year. And Roman, what do you know about him?
Well, Huspin coming in with a 13.50 ERA. That's only 3 1/3 innings of work. He's got 4 appearances and an 0-1 record. A pitch-to-contact guy out of the bullpen, but giving up a little bit too much contact and giving it up in the wrong spots so far this season. He's got 5 earned runs allowed and 4 hits as well, 4 walks. Just hasn't been able to find the zone very well. A couple of strikeouts there, but the opponent batting average against is .308. Going to look to lower that here tonight. Wildcats down just 3 after being down as much as 9 a couple of times here tonight. And Huspin, not a ton of pressure here. You just need to pitch your stuff, do what's asked of you, and get the bats back out there.
Yeah, and talking about that, his year kind of started off bad on the road against Incarnate Word on the 18th, his first appearance, 2/3 of an inning, 4 earned runs for him, 1 walk. He's kind of rebounded slowly, found his way back into that one. Uncorking almost immediately, though, to center field is Hashizaki, pardon me, unloads one to center field. Regalo there, though, for the first out of the inning quickly. So 1 out already in the books. Hashizaki not having a great day out of that leadoff spot.
He's not, and he's been one of the only guys to really struggle in this Stephen F. Austin lineup. But a great quick out for Colin Huspin.
Well, he's got a tough part of the lineup to work through here. Cooper Schneider stepping in. Now that one bounces away out of the dirt and behind the plate. 1-0 the count now quickly to Schneider, who tonight reached on an error, had a single in the same inning, came around and scored twice in that first inning, but since then been kind of quiet and 1 at bat in the 3rd inning, grounded out to the left side.
Yeah, good, boy.
Comeback strike there, 1-1 the count now. So Huspin on the mound, taking over for O.J. Gonzalez, who had quiet the outing for ACU tonight. Here's the 1-1 and a bunt attempt on the ground. Huspin, a great fielding chance to throw on to first. Is it in time? It is. What a play. Colin Huspin. Who said pitchers aren't athletes? What a great heads-up play there on the mound.
Yeah, and just really great reaction time here. Snuck it down. That's a great bunt there as well. A little close to the pitcher's mound and almost beat it, but really athletic play from Huspin and able to fire a fastball over to first and give himself a quick 2 outs.
So Josh Ibe stepping in now. He's got the home run on the day for this team and a single, 2 for 2 as he torches one foul into the parking lot. Going to close the book really quickly on O.J. Gonzalez tonight for ACU. 3 1/3 inning for him. Came in relief. 2 earned runs, 5 strikeouts, 4 batters faced. You've said it to me a handful of times now. He is just 2 pitches away from a great outing and still had a good one all around.
Really solid performance and a performance full of growth. I mean, you talk about those 2 pitches being it, and that's probably what Coach McCarty is going to tell him is you give up 2 home runs. That's not great. We got to work on that. But you struck out a handful of guys. You worked your stuff, and you kept us in this game. That's a big performance from the redshirt freshman.
And with Ibe stepping in right now, you could say this even for Gonzalez. Those aren't the worst guys you could have given a home run up to. 2 big guys, a lot of power. Found one and just grooved it up center field. 2-1 pitch now, 2 outs. That one finds the zone.
Well, by no means were those 2 pitches bad necessarily. I mean, you threw 2 fastballs in the zone. That's what you want to get contact on. The problem is kind of where those ended up and who it was to.
2-2 pitch. That one tattooed foul. Just a ton of power off the bat of eBay. Once again, leads this team in all sorts of offensive statistics, adding to that tonight already. But ACU slowly and quietly crawling back into this game. Ibe gets one in the zone and swings on that one. Far right side, it's gone. Josh Ibe again. His second home run of the night is a missile line drive to right field. 12-8 now. SFA leads ACU, and it seems like after these big ACU innings, Josh Ibe's got an answer almost immediately.
Right, and it looks so effortless. I mean, you see that swing. He's not swinging at 100%. He might not be even swinging at 75% there. He's just trying to get a piece on it, found a barrel, and able to ride the wind a little bit, but just take a look here. An absolute missile into that ACU bullpen. He's an issue with the bat in his hands.
Well, didn't walk away with any preseason awards in the Southland Conference, but probably a guy that is on a lot of people's radars as this year goes on. Definitely going to be one to watch as they dive deeper into conference play. Obviously already started at 2-7 on their record. That one corked now. Right center field, back to back. Jacks for the Jacks, pardon me. Out into right center field, a huge home run for Mark Henning, his 3rd hit of the night.
Yeah, and that's a beautiful piece there. Not a great pitch from Husband, just that one left over the middle of the plate. Great recognition and a really seamless swing as he wanted to hold on to that bat a little bit longer, trotting down to first base, watching that ball sail.
And he just tattooed it. It was beautiful. It doesn't get much better than that.
Yeah, it's a great piece there into right field. Benjamin Greer knew it was gone. We all knew that one was gone.
So just like that, it's a 5-run game here after Colin Husband came on the mound and it looked solid, but gives up the back-to-back home runs to the 3- and 4-hole hitters for SFA, and the Lumberjacks having a great outing right now, continuing to pour on the numbers. Here's a swing and a shot up center field, diving and a play and a catch. What a catch in center field from Regala to end the inning. Despite the catch, SFA back-to-back home runs do the number. It's a 5-run lead for them headed to the bottom of the 5th. Stick with us here on ESPN+. Welcome back, Abilene, Texas. Qualis and Roman Raffelli here, and SFA, they give ACU a little ground, but then the Lumberjacks just find some power. 13-7, big home runs in the top of this inning from Josh Ibe and Mark Henning, the 3- and 4-hole hitters for them. And ACU now, Diego Cardenas, Sam Hardcastle, and Maddox Misi here in this inning for the Wildcats, as Jack James back on the mound after giving up that grand slam, or pardon me, after giving up that triple to Benjamin Greer, and a quick swinging attempt here from Cardenas. That one fouled up on the left side. So Cardenas tonight flew out to center field in the 1st inning, but then hit a bomb to right field for a 4-run shot, that grand slam. Really had ACU back in this one, but SFA just continues to pour it on. 9 runs in the 1st, 1 in the 3rd, 1 in the 4th, pardon me, and 2 in the 5th. 13-8 lead. Cardenas watches the 1-1 pitch. That one in there for a strike. 1-2 now to the ACU power hitter. And Cardenas able to unload on that grand slam pitch, a huge pitch that kind of shifted the momentum, and we're still kind of seeing it linger towards ACU here, despite those 2 big home runs last inning. But Cardenas gonna look to do some more damage here and be a big leadoff batter for the Wildcats. Bounces into the glove of Atkinson. 2-2 the count now to Cardenas. Hard foul ball on the right side and chops out. 2-2 will remain the count. On deck, Hardcastle for ACU. As Cardenas gets set back in the box. 2-2 pitch, not gonna offer that one. Full count now for Diego Cardenas.
And a great job just battling back in this one. Being patient at the plate, not swinging at something that you're not gonna be able to hit, and find himself in a full count.
3-2, and Cardenas unloads on one. This one going back right center field, maybe playable, maybe not, and it is. Great job from Cooper Schneider out in right field to get a beat on that one. And maybe if the wind was still going a little heavier, that one would have blown out, but nonetheless falls just shy it at the warning track. Schneider there to make the play, so 1 out now on a long first out.
Yeah, and you see the wind there, still definitely pushing out into right field, but Cardenas typically struggles getting under the ball too much, scooping under it, and same result there.
When we saw that exit velo from him earlier, not super high, but it's more that trajectory the ball's going to take. It's the angle, and like you said, just gets a little too much under him. That one rolls in there to Hardcastle, 1-1 the count. Right-hander throwing in the bullpen for ACU. No one in the pen for the Lumberjacks right now. 1-1 pitch in there for a called strike, so 1-2 now. To Hardcastle, who had a single back in the first, flew out to the right fielder in the third. This year, though, 361 the average for him. Some good appearances, and that one chalked out to right field, and Schneider not going to have to move too much to make that play, and 2 outs now for the Wildcats.
Yeah, another fly out to right for the Wildcats there, and just kind of an in-betweener for Hardcastle. Didn't quite get the barrel on that one, didn't quite get jammed. A good piece of contact, but a little too high up, and it falls for an out.
Maddox Misi stepping in now for ACU. Had a single back in the second. First pitch swinging and first pitch fouling on the right side off the batting cages and well out of play. BC playing at second base tonight. Not a lot of action over there for him. A couple that have slipped through, and they're going to say he went around on that one. So now it's 0-2 the count with 2 outs. Jack James threw 1 1/3 right now. 1 earned run. No strikeouts here on an 0-2 pitch. 2 outs. Here it is. High and outside. So gonna bring it up to 1-2 now. One-two pitch from James. That one shot out into right field. Schneider gonna have a chance to get the trifecta. Gonna step over to the left-hand side. He's got it for the final out of the inning. 3 fly balls to the right side of the outfield is all going for ACU. Jack James shuts them down in order. SFA leads ACU 13-8. Stick with us here on ESPN+. Texas, Coy Oslin, Roman Raffelli here holding down the desk for you. David Zhang on the on the mound for ACU. Pardon me. 13-7, like we said. What do you know about him, Roman?
Well, had a solid year so far, a 3.18 ERA, a couple of good appearances, a lengthier appearance against Oklahoma State through 2 innings, struck out 5 out of 6 batters he faced. No hits, no runs, no walks in that one, but also struggled a little bit against Arkansas Pine Bluff, an inning and a third, a couple of hits, couple of runs, and a strikeout. But most recent appearance, an inning against Prairie View A&M a couple weekends ago, had a strikeout in that inning, and has really been a solid bullpen option for the Wildcats. I'm going to look to continue that and continue to decrease that 3.18 ERA, a whip of just .71, one of the only sub-1 whips on this Wildcat team, and he's been really effective. An opponent batting average of just 111 against David John here, and really solid option for Coach McCarty.
Yeah, hasn't stepped on the mound in 10 days. That was that Prairie View A&M series here for ACU. Has had a decently long leash when he's been out there. 2 innings against Oklahoma State. No runs for him in that game. That was kind of a tough night for ACU. And looking at kind of what ACU's done here. They've floated around pitchers. He's going to be number 5 on the night so far. Taking over Colin Husband, who gave up back-to-back home runs in what was a pretty decent outing so far for him before the home run. So pulled pretty quickly after that. Back in the lineup, Kevin Duran, Dante Turgeon, and Isaiah Garcia gonna be the batters for SFA. First pitch from John is tattooed to right field, going back. That one is a no-doubter. That one is gone. A home run for Kevin Duran. After striking out twice in a row, comes up with a big fly to the right side. And SFA again continuing to pour on the coals.
Yeah, and just a great piece of hitting there. Just took it the other way, hit it where it's pitched, and found a barrel and said goodbye.
Second home run of the year for John this season that he's given up, and just a huge smash here from Duran. And here's another guy with some oppo power, Dante Turgeon, who we saw groove one up center field last time up. Watches some off speed up the middle for a first call strike. Turgeon tonight, as we said, walked in the first, had a single in the second, and a home run in the fourth for SFA. That went high up at the helmet. No contact, though, so 1-1 the count now to Turgeon.
Well, the story of tonight for the Wildcats has been their response. You get down 9 runs a couple of times tonight, and you've been giving up all these home runs, but you got to battle back and you got to respond to the next batter, the next pitch.
One high and inside, 2-1 the count now to Turgeon. Long pause from John. Finally deals that one ripped into left field, and it's going to be down for a base hit right in front of the glove of Reese Boro in left field. Boro had to stop short on that one. So runner on first now is Turgeon, who just continues to reap from this ACU bullpen game.
Yeah, Turgeon with his 3rd hit of the ninth also has a walk, scored a couple times. She's been a really solid bat, and I mean the whole lineup has been really good. You see everyone in this lineup except Garnacia scoring tonight. Just been consistent up and down the lineup.
Garnacia stepping in now. You talked about 2 strikeouts for him, 1 in the second, 1 in the fourth. Had that sac fly RBI back in the first as part of that onslaught from SFA, and a big swing and a miss there from him.
Yeah, that's a great pitch there. That ball just rolled off the table in front of Garcia.
Swing and a miss on that one. Gonna say a little foul contact actually. So 0-2 the count. Runner on first is Turgeon. Garnacia waits. Here's the pitch, swing and a miss. Strikeout for David John. Number 10 on the year for the righty. Gets his first out of the inning after giving up the home run in the single. 3rd strikeout of the day for Garnacia. Stepping in now is Dylan Hummel, the 9-hole hitter, who singled as a part of that big first inning. That one through the legs and back to the backstop. Heading to second is Turgeon as Nielsen recovers it slowly and throws it back into John. So another runner in scoring position for SFA, Roman.
Yeah, and they've just continued to apply the pressure. ACU battles back, and they have a response. They've always just been ready to continue to tack on a run, 2 runs, and now let ACU really get a chance at the lead.
Look back to second and deals, and gonna see if he offered at it. will be a strike, so 1-1 the count now. Slow call from home plate umpire Damon Thomas.
And Coach Matt Vanderberg not thrilled with the call over at third base. It was definitely close, but it did look like he went.
1-1 count. A lot of checks back to second and deals that one high and inside. Got to step away now as Hummel. Big lead from Turgeon at second. Here's the 2-1, swung back foul.
That ball fouled back, but it feels like everything that SFA has gotten a barrel on today has been hit hard. Not a super great team so far this season, but they hit the ball hard. They find gaps. They do all the things right, just not always as successful as they would like.
2-2 fouled back, so once again going to try the 2-2 count. Turgeon moving around a lot at second base. Does not have a stolen base this season, but definitely in the head of Jean. His first 3-hit game of the season, also for the junior infielder from Gilbert, Arizona. Big lead from him at second. John looks back at him, dancing around. Here's the pitch. That one curves in there for a strike 3 call, and a big strikeout for David John. Back-to-back for him after the big hits given up. Ben Hashizaki going to step in now.
And now for John, a chance to get out of this one without giving up a second run. Obviously give up the home run and then the single, but stranding that runner would be big.
First pitch is going to be a ball. 1-0 the count now with 2 outs on the board. Here's the pitch. That one inside for another ball. So 2-0 now. Quickly the count to Hashizaki. Center fielder today has 1 hit in 4 at-bats. Has gotten on, though, twice and came around and scored in that first inning twice as he pops a big fly on the left side. Don't know if that one's going to be able to stay in play, and no, it does not. Falls behind the SFA dugout for a 2-1 count now. Turgeon again on second. Got on with a single. Swipes second on a pass ball. 2-1 pitch. That one tattooed to center field. Moving around Regala. He's going to have a beat on it, it looks like, and he is there for the final out of the inning. But another home run for SFA for the 4th inning in a row. Tacks on another run. It's 14-8 here. Welcome back, Abilene, Texas. Just about 2 hours, 15 minutes into this midweek game between SFA and ACU. The Lumberjacks lead ACU 14-8. Coy Oslin, Roman Raffelli here at Crutcher Scott Field, and Jack James back on the mound for the Lumberjacks. Kind of a good outing so far for him, Roman.
Yeah, he's been really solid, not giving up too much, and came in to kind of shut down the Wildcats. We're getting something going and climbing back into this one. His offense been able to produce a little bit, and now working with a 6-run lead.
Here's the first pitch from him. That one shot hard, right center field alley. Going back and making the catch is Schneider, Cooper Schneider. That of action on that right-hand side today, Roman.
Yeah, and that's 5 straight outs actually made by Cooper Schneider in right field. ACU unable to get on time with James just popping him up over into right field.
Yeah, and you're saying that dates back to the 4th inning when ACU last found pay dirt. 14-8, first pitch to Nielsen is in there for a strike. Nielsen tonight struck out looking in the 2nd inning. Walked, but came around and scored in the 4th. Or pardon me, Boro. Was one batter off there. Boro that tonight did come around, walked and scored in that big 4th inning like I was talking about off the back of a triple from Ben Greer. top of the order looked like they kind of had James' number there for a minute, but trying to circle back around. Boro stepping in. 1-2 count now. Here's the pitch, and takes a golf swing at that one and fouls it back on a defensive effort to keep the at-bat alive. Boro now working the pitch count up, but still not in his favor. 1-2 count. Pitch and goes fishing for that one as well and fouls it off onto the left side.
Yeah, doing a good job just spoiling some good pitches and trying to find his pitch in this at-bat.
He was really patient in that at-bat when he walked. It was a good look for him and something he kind of needed, and see if he can do it again. And tattoos that one to right field. Going back is Schneider, stepping back, and he's going to make yet another out in right field, Roman.
Yeah, you know, you see this and you just wonder, like, it's coincidental, but at the same time, you've got 6 straight outs made by the right fielder. That's a really weird coincidence, but the Wildcats, they got to flatten something out. You know, you got to tell Regala here, hey, hit this ball into home plate here. You're popping, the team as a whole is just popping up too much, and you can't have productive outs and good baseball if you're getting under everything.
Yeah, just 28 pitches for Jack James so far through 2 1/3 innings. That's an absolutely ideal number for any pitcher. Just 1 earned run for him and came off that triple. Beautiful pitch at the top of the zone, even the count up at 1-1 to Regala, who tonight struck out looking in the first, struck out in the third, but finally found the base paths with a walk in the fourth, came around and scored. Watches that one outside, and Regala in that last at bat was down 0-2 at one point, came back around and walked.
Right, had a really patient and mature approach despite being a true freshman. Now looking to add on to his success here.
It was against Blaine Zeppelin, not Jack James. That was right before James came on. Cuts through that one. So 2-2 the count now to Regala. Chance to get out of the inning with barely any wind out of his lungs. Here's the pitch, 2-2. Low, full count again to Regala.
And Regala just continuing to see pitches here. His 3rd full count in 4 at-bats here tonight. Making the pitchers earn.
Ben Greer on deck. Here's the full count pitch. That one just outside the zone, away from Regala, and Ben Greer going to step into bat once again, and of course had that triple double back in the 3rd and walked in the 1st through maybe what some people would say are the 2 hardest legs of a cycle.
Yeah, done a really great job tonight just being what the Wildcats need him to be. Stolen a couple bases, forced an error / balk, weird situation, but then been the spark out of that 2-hole. Done a really good job tonight.
First pitch to Greer, high and away. First pitch is a ball, so 1-0 the count now to Greer. Regala on first. Getting into that part of the order that did what damage they could against James. The lefty pauses, throws over to first. Regala already back at the base well and in time.
For how much we've seen the Wildcats steal bases tonight, the SFA really hasn't checked over to bases too often. And, you know, when they did at second base, it led to a free base for Ben Greer.
I mean, at times they've had a 9-run lead. You don't need to hyper-focus on the base paths, and we saw what happens when they do that with Dylan Mulcahy back in the, I believe it was the 3rd inning, when he threw back at Ben Greer and tried to avoid a balk. Greer offers at that one and gets it off the end of the bat. Fouled back, so 0-2 the count now.
And it's kind of the fine line you ride between not giving too much attention to the runners on base and completely forgetting about them and allowing them to run rampant and derail your pitching approach.
Be an 0-2 pitch, 2 outs, runner on first, Regala. James deals. In there, called, 3rd strike. Ben Greer goes down looking, and what an inning from Jack James. Just the 1 runner on board, but complete control for the lefty. 14-8, SFA continues to lead ACU headed to the 7th. Stick with us. Welcome back, Abilene, Texas. SFA leading the Wildcats 14-8 here. David John back on the mound for the Wildcats, like we said. And so far tonight, John looked good. Kind of had some issues, though, when he first got on. Gave up a solo shot to Kevin Duran on the right side. Dante Turgeon also singled right after that. But 2 strikeouts and a fly out to center field was the story. We're in the backstretch. 7th inning action in Abilene, Texas. And going to take a peek at the box score real quick. SFA, 9 runs in the first, 1 in the third, 1 in the fourth, 2 in the fifth, and 1 in the sixth. 14 runs on 16 total hits, 1 error, and 5 left on base. ACU 1 run in the first, 4 in the third, 3 in the fourth, and 8 total runs on 5 hits, 2 errors, and 3 left on for the Wildcats. Roman, it has been dominance for the Lumberjacks tonight.
Well, and it's just been through the long ball. I mean, you got several home runs here, and early in the game that wasn't really the story. It was we're going to find the gaps, we're going to hit some ground balls, just where the defense isn't. And got the lead that way, and then it's built with several home runs, including two, from Josh eBay. A couple of big moments there as well. And Coach Rick McCarty done everything he can to keep his team in this one, but they're going to need some offensive production down the stretch here.
Well, it's going to be Cooper Schneider, and then the 2 killers for this team right now, Josh eBay and Mark Henning for SFA in this inning. First pitch to Schneider is outside for a ball. 1-0 the count now, right off the bat. Schneider tonight reached on an error in the first, came around and scored, and singled and got an RBI and scored as well in that same inning. When we came back around the order off the glove, that one bounces away on the right side. Blaine Palmer on the mound for ACU. No announcement that he had actually gone up, so Palmer in the game for ACU. 9.39 ERA for him this year. That one away, so 3-0 the count quickly now. Closing the book on David John tonight. 1 inning, 2 hits, 1 earned run for him, 2 strikeouts on the night. Coming in for relief prior to Palmer, as that one bounces in there. 3-1 the count. Talking about Palmer, a really veteran presence for ACU. The number's kind of high this year, but someone that you got to get working as conference rolls around. Fouled back 3-2.
Well, Palmer, a big strikeout guy, but the problem with that is you're throwing hard fastballs and breaking balls that move a lot, but you can't be accurate all the time with those, and that forces some fastballs down the middle that lead to big hits and some walks, some free bases, and that's been his struggle here, but a good opportunity to grow and continue to work on his stuff.
Swing and a miss. Comeback pitches 2 in a row for him for Blaine Palmer. Gets a big strikeout to open the inning, number 14 on the year for Palmer.
And as we're talking about it, a big strikeout there. Got down early in that one, wasn't being crazy accurate, and then gets a good strike in there on a 3-0 pitch, gets a foul ball, and then a really nice.
eBay working a 2 home run game so far tonight, back-to-back for him, 1 in the third and 1 in the fifth, and had a single, came around and scored in the first. So an RBI and run machine for him tonight. Has reached base 4 times in 3 at-bats. Scored all 3 times he got on via hit. Cannot offer it that one. 2-0 the count. And you got to think they're going to dance around the strike zone for this guy.
Well, and I don't see there any reason not to. You have an open base, and all he's done tonight is hurt you. The problem is you've got Henning right behind him, who's been just as good and caused a lot of damage as well.
Second a pause here for eBay. 2-0 count, long pause here. Palmer deals, and that one's gone. 3 home run night for Josh eBay. Back to back to back. The DH does it again. 15-8. SFA leads here in the top of the 7th.
You know, Coy, I've seen a lot of home runs, especially tonight. I don't know if I've seen a ball hop off a barrel like that in a long, long time. That ball was sent into the night by Josh eBay here. No doubt, or hardly followed through the swing there, but knew that was gone. see you later in left field.
Yeah, cold as ice, too. That one bounces off the foot of Mark Henning. He's going to get on with a hit by pitch. And dare I say it, Roman, that is true major league power there from Ibe. That is something you do not see a lot of. It just tees off. And Palmer doesn't throw slow. He's kind of a high 80s to 90 guy, but that one just tattooed. And conversation now between the base coach and home plate umpire Damon Thompson right now. Quite sure what the subject would be. All players kind of continuing to warm up. Stay loose. Not a particularly heated conversation, just a little back and forth here it looks like.
And Vanderberg walking over to his dugout. Something might have been.
I believe that's the third base coach headed back in, actually.
Seems like something might have been said or continuing to be said. Is home plate umpire going towards Coach McCarty now?
Thomas having a conversation with Coach McCarty, of course. Seeing, not really sure what's going on here. The batter right now is Atkinson. Here he's emerging now, and he's got something in his hand. Not quite sure what it is. Maybe he returned something.
It almost looked like they were looking at the bat that eBay was
and I saw
using, which is, I mean, certainly a conversation to be had, but surely nothing funny going on there.
And I mean, this late in the season, you know, you would have caught something like that early on in the year at the numbers he's putting up for this team. 15-8 lead. Atkinson stepping in now. Swing and a miss at that one low in the zone. Atkinson tonight, a double in the first, came around and scored on that one on an RBI, but since then, kind of a quiet evening for him. Grounded out and flew out twice so far. Still 15-8 game. Top of the seventh, pitch from Palmer off the end of the bat, and it sneaks through that right side, rolling out to right field. Ben Greer going to pull up on it and get it back in time. So Henning going to head to second as Ethan Atkinson breaks his short drought with a single.
Yeah, that's a good piece of hitting there, just hitting it where it's pitched. Ball off that outside edge and pokes it into right field for a single.
And we were talking about it during the break, Roman. This is an SFA team that has a lot of potential. We were wondering, you know, why are they kind of in this drought they're in, what's going on here and there, but this is a team that has the pieces. We've seen it tonight. 15-8. Runner on first and second. That's Atkinson and Henning, who's on second. Here's the pitch. Swung on, chopped over to third. Chance for double play, on to second, on to first, the scoop, and the grab is good. That'll end the inning. So, despite the home run, ACU gets out of the jam with 2 on, but Josh Ibe with a massive bomb puts one back on the board for SFA. Stick with us, we'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back to Abilene, Texas, where SFA leading ACU big time, 15-8 for the Lumberjacks, and Jack James, back on the mound for the Lumberjacks, and he's having a good night. 2 2/3 innings for him, 1 hit, 1 earned run, 1 walk, and 1 strikeout. That hit and that earned run as well was all on 1 play. It was a triple from Ben Greer that could not have been a home run had the wind been picking up again, but either way, just a huge night tonight for Jack James. ACU coming up to bat for the Wildcats. It's going to be Watkins, Arias, and Cardenas.
And James really the reason that the Wildcats have, you know, stopped kind of climbing back in this one. He came into the game, Wildcats down 3, but since just not let him do anything, I mean, except fly out to right field, of course, with 6 of those coming in his outing so far, and that one will say goodbye.
Yeah, that one's not going to do anything for him. Grant Watkins with just a bullet to right field. That one flies over the bullpen and out. Watkins, a big fly there, and we talked about it early on. He's kind of a game changer for this ACU team. He's going to be a big player this weekend for the Wildcats when they go up against GCU and the Lopes coming into town.
And just as I talk about, James doing a great job of not allowing ACU to climb back in this one, just leaves a fastball middle, and Grant Watkins is going to take that one for a ride. It's a beautiful piece there.
By far his longest outing of the season so far. Through 32 pitches in 1 2/3 innings against Arkansas Pine Bluff. Right now, though, sitting at 39 pitches in 2 2/3 innings. So great work for him and a good work rate. That one shot out in right field. It's going to fall for a hit for Arias, and he's on base now. So it's 15-9. ACU not going quietly, though.
Right, and the Wildcats kind of starting to figure him out, seeing a lot of pitches, like you mentioned, a longer outing, and the velo probably tailing off a little bit, not quite as sharp, but ACU just having a better approach, looking to go the other way with it.
Diego Cardenas stepping in now. Had a grand slam, of course, kind of opened up what we thought was an ACU comeback for a minute. Of course, different plan for SFA tonight. As he watches one for a ball. Cardenas so far, aside from the grand slam, nothing at all, just 2 flyouts to the right center field area as he shoots one, and what a backhanded snag. On to second, on to first. Duran, Kevin, what are you doing, man? That was beautiful at second base. That's all flair right there.
Yeah, that's a phenomenal play there. A hard shot right at his feet. Fielded that, almost not even looking at it, turned around, snagged it behind him, and they made a great pitch. Taking another look here. Hard hit ball right at his feet. Wasn't even really looking at that one. Scooped it up, and mid-play just kind of stood up and looked at the dugout, shrugged a little bit, said, hey, look at that.
You talk about a 4.63, that's it right there. All right, Sam Hardcastle stepping in now tonight. Had a single back in the second, but since then, part of that group of ACU players who flew out to right field 7 times in a row. Prior to this inning, that one popped up on the right side. Decent movement, but gonna shoot well into the parking lot. Six-run game, bottom of the 7th, rolling with what we've seen tonight. It's almost like ACU's not out of reach, it feels like, but nonetheless, SFA's had a response for everything. That went high, and Hardcastle had to pull up on that one.
Right, with 24 combined runs here, you certainly not over yet. We've seen both these teams, turn it on with the flick of a switch, like we almost saw ACU start to do right there, but then the phenomenal play by the second baseman there.
Chopped up the middle, and it's going to sneak through for a base hit. The second one of the day for Hardcastle, a 2-hit game for him. And runner on first now for ACU, trying to wrap down here into the bottom of their lineup.
Yeah, just a good piece of hitting there, throwing the hands in the barrel at the ball and dribbling one up the middle to extend the inning.
So Maddox Misi stepping in now, 1 for 3 on the night for the second baseman tonight for ACU. He had a single back in the first, and since then has gone quietly twice in a row. Watches ball 1 there with 2 outs. Hardcastle on first now. 1 stolen base on the year for him. Not too fast of a player, but gonna move around quite a bit with that length he's got. 1-0 pitch to Misi, and it's gonna sneak in the strike zone. 1-1 is the count now.
And that's a good pitch there. Not a typical spot for an off-speed pitch, but he's just going to kind of lob one in there, and he's caught off guard by it.
Does not offer at that one, so 2-1 the count. Now there's another righty warming up in ACU's bullpen to complement a righty in the SFA bullpen. The SFA righty is just tossing right now, however. Short leadoff for Hardcastle. Second baseman playing pretty deep as that one's torched out to left center field, and it's going to fall down for a base hit. So runners on first and second. A good piece of hitting from Maddox Misi for the second time tonight.
Yeah, and that's just a textbook single in the gap there. Saw it, put the barrel on it, and let it sail into left center. And now first and second with 2 outs. SFA, had it not been for that phenomenal double play turned there, you're potentially looking at a 15-10 game with potentially bases loaded, 2 on, much better situation here than first and second with 2 outs.
Well, that makes Kevin Durant's snag even more impressive. Mound visit here from Matt Vanderberg. Gonna see, I can't imagine he's calling to the bullpen this soon. It doesn't look like that righty is throwing too hard. He is throwing now. Maybe just a quick chat here. James right now is sitting at 50 pitches in this outing through 3 1/3 innings, 2 earned runs, 1 strikeout on 5 hits. Taking a look in the bullpen here. Can see if we can get a number on it. The bullpen's quite a ways away here in Abilene, Texas. That's going to be number 8, Reed Boyett. 3.24 ERA on the season for him as he is throwing now. So probably not a change in this scenario. Maybe just talking strategy, trying to get out of this inning and maybe put a good book in on James Knight here.
Yeah, James, 1 pitch away here. You got runners on first and second. A couple easy force outs or just a throw over to first, and you get out of this here. You want to avoid using another pitcher as much as possible, or at least delaying the inevitable here, trying to get out of this inning and close the book.
Dylan Mulcahy, who started the game for SFA, had a good outing himself. Maybe his best of the season despite that grand slam if you look aside from that. Jack James right now definitely working his best outing so far. First pitch to Nielsen, bounces off the plate and into the chest protector of Atkinson. Take a look at Jack Nielsen tonight. 0 for 3 night for Jack the senior. Playing catcher for ACU and need to come up big here as watches one float over the plate for a called strike. So 1-1 the count.
And Nielsen on the season hitting .308, slugging .423. 0 for 3 on the night though.
Long pause, waits and deals. Nielsen watches that one for strike 2, so 1-2 the count now with 2 outs. 1 strike away from getting out of this jam with 2 on. And this season, Nielsen, the split's pretty good. Bats .556 with runners in scoring position, but .167 with 2 outs in an inning, so we'll see what he's got. 1-2 pitch, Nielsen chopper over to third, snagged and gonna touch the bag is Hummel at third. So ACU gets just the 1 run, but a couple runners threatening prior to a double play, and nothing cooking there for ACU. SFA leads 15-9. Stick with us. We'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back to Abilene, Texas. Glasson Roman Raffelli here at the Crutch, where SFA is leading the Wildcats 15-9 in dominating fashion. Andrew Gardino on the mound for ACU, now coming in the 7th pitcher tonight for Rick McCarty's team. And Roman, what do you got for us?
Well, he's only got 1 appearance on the year, pitched just a third of an inning, walked 3 and struck out 1. Pretty blank slate for the graduate student, the transfer for Rick McCarty's squad. And I'm going to come in, just try not to give up. I mean, obviously the 3 walks in the first outing, not what you want here. Hard throwing righty. Try to get some quick contact, strike out a couple, and get the bats back out there. Try to get them rolling again late in this one because the innings and the outs are dwindling for ACU.
Well, tonight it hasn't been quiet for ACU no matter where they are in the lineup against SFA. It's going to be Dante Turgeon, Isaiah Garnica, and Dylan Hummel. Pitch in there for a strike on good 80-mile-per-hour action there for Gardino. Talked about it, just 1 outing for him tonight, or this season, pardon me. There's a pitch tattooed to third, but fielded cleanly. Throw on to first from Hardcastle is in time for the quick 5-3 put out. 1 out quickly now in the first inning, or in the 8th inning, pardon me.
Yeah, and that's a great first at-bat for Gardino. You want to get quick outs here.
Pinch hitter now for the Lumberjacks. It's going to be Austin Cadroy coming in to bat for Isaiah Garnica. Garnica going to end the night with 3 strikeouts and a sac fly, 1 RBI. As the freshman from Orange, Texas steps in. First pitch, swing and a miss. Big cut there. So 0-1 count now. Two count. Cadroy, first at bat of the night. Here's the pitch. Bounces in there and skirts away. No reason to go get it. And Nielsen going to throw it back in. So pinch hitters now coming in for the Lumberjacks. Long pause, 1-2 pitch. In the zone, strike 3 called, yes indeed, for Gardino.
Good, Dino, stay in there, little boy.
His second strikeout of the season. Cadroy comes in as the pinch hitter and goes down on strikes.
And some confusion on whether it was a strike or called, or they said that he went, but the first base umpire did confirm he did swing on that one.
First pitch inside to Dylan Hummel. Hummel tonight singled back in the first inning like many did, came around and scored. And then after that, kind of a quiet evening for him so far. 1-0 pitch to him on a line to third. Hardcastle with a snag, throwing to Watkins in time. Beautiful cross field, 5-3 put out for ACU to end the inning. So 1-2-3 they go, a good outing for Andrew Gardino. 15-9, SFA leads ACU. We're headed to the bottom of the 8th. Stick with us. We'll be back momentarily. Welcome back, Abilene, Texas. SFA on top of ACU, 15-9 here, bottom of the 8th inning, and another new pitcher. It's going to be number 4 for SFA, and it's going to be number 8, Reed Boyette, the right-handed senior out of Nacogdoches, a hometown boy pitching for the hometown team. Roman, what do you got for us?
This will be his 8th appearance on the year, 16 2/3 innings so far, 18 hits, 4 runs, all of which earned, 10 strikeouts, 4 walks, an opponent batting average of .295. Been a solid pitcher for them, a 3.24 ERA. Going to look to lower that here tonight and start to close this one down for the Jacks. Looking to come out with an albeit ugly but much needed win just off their 6-game skid.
Technically made an appearance against ACU on the 12th, but did not end up throwing any pitches. So really a record book deal there for him in that loss. But coming in here now to face the Wildcats is going to be Reese Boro. Braden Regales, that one's cracked out into left field, moving around, trying to find a beat on it and make a play, and the snag in time by Turgeon. So Boro down after the fly to left field. It's going to be Braden Regala and Benjamin Greer for sure. ACU really got to get something going here. It has felt like a rubber banding game throughout the night, but SFA really been able to silence the Wildcats as of late. Regala stepping in. His first pitch is fouled off on the left side tonight. He is 0 for 2 with back-to-back walks. Came around and scored on one, though, back in the 4th, but other than that, strikeouts for him.
Right, and it feels like the Wildcats lately have just been getting under everything. They kind of crawled back into the game and were hanging around, but then it seems like they got kind of scoop heavy, started dropping that back shoulder and launching everything up, as we saw Borjo do right there.
Boro, a chopper into left side, fielded cleanly, throw on to first in time from Hummel. A heads-up play from Hummel on a tricky chopper on the left side. And you know, when ACU replaced this turf run, a lot of my questions were, you know, how is the choppers going to play? They'd played so difficult throughout the years, but that one pretty good.
Well, Regala just sliced under it, got right off the handle of the bat and kind of spun weird, took some hops left a little bit, and that's a great play to prevent the speedster freshman from getting on.
We talked about it. This SFA roster, they're on a hard losing streak. More than likely going to end this evening, but what they've done so far this year, it hasn't reflected what we've seen. They've looked like an all-around team this evening here in Abilene. Ben Greer pops that one up, and it's going to be playable. Stepping under it, we're not quite sure who's going to get it, and it's going to fall off the mound, and Greer heads up, slides into second. Second time tonight that's happened to Ben Greer. A confusion on a pop fly on the infield, and that one falls.
one. He might have actually been able to kind of sneak over to third. There was no one occupying the base, but he slid into second as we look here. Potentially lost in the light up there. Just a bit of confusion there. Obviously, you don't typically want the pitchers to be doing that, but it just bounces off, and everyone kind of caught staring. Lack of talking there, and it results in another double for Benjamin Greer.
So quickly now, runner in scoring position for ACU. Grant Watkins steps in now, homered back in the 7th inning before ACU put up a fight that died off very slowly. By the way, that's Greer's 3rd extra base hit tonight. Put him on a 3-for-4 evening with a walk as well. 1-0 pitch to Watkins with 2 outs. Low in the zone. And they're going to skirt around Watkins here in this at-bat and play it careful probably, but right now you're up by 6. Can't be too careful. 2-0 pitch. Watkins tattoos one. That one back at the track off the wall. It takes a bad bounce. Watkins going to slowly round and head to second, and some trouble in right field for Schneider as he finally gets that one back in. Ben Greer going to score from second. Bit of confusion here. Watkins thinks it's a home run. I thought it came off lower on the wall. We're going to see what the umpires discuss here.
Well, and I think the question is whether it went off of the front wall or the back wall of that bullpen and shot over, because that was a missile, and it's pretty hard to tell.
And that, that exit velo is going to be tricky. Let's take a look and see what our ACU TV team has on replay here. Tattooed at that one. Ooh.
That's really tough to tell there. I
want to say it came off the top of the wall there.
With how the right fielder reacted, I'm going to assume that it came off the lower part, because he was still in a rush, but also, I mean, right field, you're not thinking, what am I going to sell? You're thinking, I just got to get the ball.
Well, and Watkins took his trot pretty quickly. He was confident that was gone, and just a game of inches. A couple of years back, maybe over a decade ago, they brought the dimensions in at Crutcher Scott Field, and there was a reason why. It was not a very home run friendly ballpark. This one is now, and you don't see too many like that, Roman.
Right, and a weird play here. Tough with the lighting as well. Taking another look, slowing it down a lot. Off the top there.
Just barely, if any.
It looks gone, in my opinion, now with our ACU TV replay operators help there, but obviously the umpires, they're not going to have that courtesy, and looks like they're going to leave him at second base.
So Watkins going to stay at second, and Rick McCarty's heated now back out here on the field talking to home plate umpire Damon Thomas. Coach McCarty pleading his case about it. Thomas giving their side obviously now, and McCarty's still going.
And McCarty, a guy known to advocate for his guys. Just trying to get a fair play out of that. It did look like it hit off the top of the wall there. The efforts. Not going to get him anywhere.
Coach McCarty still not back in the dugout yet, taking the long walk down the side, chatting up Joe Landon, the first base umpire.
You missed the freaking call.
Coach McCarty, I think he's still in the game for sure there. Maybe just having a wrap up to the chat. So back to game action now. Arias in for ACU to bat with Watkins at second. Arias tonight a walk in the 3rd and a single in the 7th as part of a kind of a slow rally that ACU pieced together. Greer scores. It's 15-10 now. Watkins on second with a interesting double. That pitch, a lot of movement on it as it goes low and away to Arias.
And a good pitch there, but important to bounce back here. I mean, you have a pause in play, and you got to wonder how the pitchers are going to respond. Not throwing a pitch for a few minutes.
Boy, he had 11 into this one. That one shot up the middle. Watkins got his wheels on the big guy, rounding third, coming home. Here's the throw. No throw to home. It's going to stay with the second baseman, and Grant Watkins scores on a quick single up the middle from Nick Arias, and ACU now a 4-run game here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Unfortunately, you know, home run, double, whatever it was, the Wildcats got their run across. Some may say the ball never lies there. Watkins comes around to score, courtesy of the Arias single. Is taking another look, just found a barrel, saw it the whole way, and that's a great piece of hitting. Doesn't get more textbook than that.
Diego Cardenas stepping in now for ACU, and quiet night for him except for the third inning. Unloaded on a 3-run shot. 4-run game for Cardenas. Not a chance for 4 right now, but got a runner on first here for the big man.
And another opportunity to continue to chip back at this one. Don't want to leave it to the 9th inning here. You want to try to get as many back as possible, especially with that lower end of the lineup due up in the 9th.
Down at the toes of Cardenas there. Now 1-1 to count with 2 outs. Arias on first. He's got 4 stolen bags this season. He's getting a healthy lead on that bag right now. Cardenas waiting for his pitch, watches that one away for strike 2, so 1-2 the count. He's got perhaps the most interesting batting stance in this game, and coming out now to talk. It looks like Coach McCarty may be out of this game. I haven't seen him since then, and you got an assistant coach coming out of the dugout now to talk to Cardenas. Do think we have a beat on him either way. So conversation done, and Cardenas going to step back in the box now. The shift is on. Let's just say that the least. The shortstop, Cadroy, who came in as a substitute, he's playing on top of the second base bag. Second baseman deep into right field. That one fouled off on the left side and out of play. Deep into the outfield is Duran, and Henning having to play on the bag though, so there is quite a gap in between there here despite the shift.
Well, they're able to do that because Cardenas, not really a bunting threat, but especially with 2 strikes here, you can't really risk putting one down and pushing it foul.
And he unloads on one. Deep right center field. Diego Cardenas, 2-home run game. It is a 2-run game in Abilene, Texas, 15-13. Wildcats not done yet.
A shift isn't stopping that.
Oh, absolutely not. He just uncorked one. I want to know what the conversation was now. His second home run of the night, his second hit of the night, home run. RBIs number 5 and 6. They're blowing up in the ACU dugout. Diego Cardenas having a night.
And that's a great piece. They're taking a look, just a middle fastball. Saw it, swung it, and sent it. Beautiful piece there. Dead center here in the crutch, and you're not gonna see that ball for long.
Yeah, Boyette knew it the moment that one got off the glove. Substitute pitcher coming in. They're going to the southpaw with ACU threatening with 2 outs. It is 15-13. Stick with us here on ESPN Plus. We'll be right back. We've got a ball game. Well, the ground's quit shaking from the Diego Cardenas 2-run shot to right center field, and SFA going to the bullpen, bringing in the southpaw, Elian Balmaceda, the senior from Rama, Nicaragua, and the transfer from Angelina College. Roman, what do you got for us?
Well, he's typically a starting pitcher, using him in a bullpen situation here. Got 4 starts and 5 appearances this year, an 0-3 record, 13 innings pitched, 21 hits, 14 runs, only 9 of them earned, 6 walks, 12 strikeouts, and an opponent batting average against of 344. Coy, that's a big number here. The southpaw, he's going to have an advantage throwing from that left side, getting 3 right-handed batters in a row, Hardcastle, Misi, and Nielsen. The next 3 potential here. The Jacks do have 2 outs here in this 8th inning, but surrendered a few runs here, and you know, Coy, we're starting to get a glimpse into why they may be on this 6-game skid. They're playing the game the right way. They're scoring a lot. I mean, 15 runs
Absolutely
should win you every single game, but they've given up 13 here, and it's just been piece at piece by piece. And this Wildcat team, credit to them, they've been relentless. They've not given up in this one, and we got a 2-run game.
First pitch to Hardcastle, fouled off on the right side, so 0-1 now to Sam Hardcastle, who tonight is 2 for 4 with a single in the second and 1 in the 7th as part of that little flare that ACU had at the end of the 7th inning. Here's a pitch, and that one fell back. You take out Josh Ebay's home runs. This is a ACU 13-12 lead. But one-man wrecking crew, we're going to see him in the 9th for sure, which is even more crucial in the story of this game. For ACU tonight, 3 home runs, all of them absolute missiles, but SFA has responded with 5 of their own. 0-2 pitch, chance to get out of the inning. High and a hard take there from Sam Hardcastle. That one's difficult to take, Roman.
Right, that high cheese right there. You want so badly to just drop that back shoulder and throw the barrel up at it, but really great plate discipline there to not do so because hard pitch to catch up to.
Well, Maceda, that one fouled off on the left side, and we'll try 1 and 2 again. This inning was quickly a 1-2 inning. 2 outs very quickly as Reese Boro and Braden Regalo went down. However, Ben Greer got very lucky with a pop fly that probably should have been caught, but miscommunication in the infield falls, and then ACU just pours it on with a double from Grant Watkins, a single, and a home run from Cardenas. Hardcastle holds on that one. Go ahead.
And it's scored as a hit, but really it's an error. We've seen a couple of those from SFA tonight, and those plays have been big. They turn into 2, 3, 4 runs, and they're snowballing and allowing ACU to crack that door and then just push it and push it and push it wide open here. And now down, albeit 2 runs with 4 outs to their name in this one.
Hardcastle working the count. Now full count for Sam Hardcastle with on-deck option for Maddox Misi. Already has 2 hits tonight. 3-2 pitch, chance to get out of the inning, and swing and a miss. Balmaceda almost slips up there, but he says no thank you, gets a swinging strikeout, but ACU, the damage is done. 4 runs for the Wildcats in the bottom of the 8th. Stick with us, they trail by 2. Welcome back, Abilene, Texas. The winds are still blowing, and if this game's any a testament to it, this has been quiet the night. Box score right now, SFA 15 runs on 18 hits, 1 error, and for ACU 13 runs on 13 hits, 2 errors, and ACU has been on fire with 2 outs tonight. They go back to Andrew Gardino, and here we are, Roman. This is a dramatic 9th inning. You got the big hitters coming up, and SFA wants to close the book.
Right, and ACU, credit to them, been relentless tonight, not gone away no matter how desperate or how large the league got and how desperate they may have been to get anything. They've just looked for someone else to step up, and looking up and down the lineup, everyone has done their job to contribute a little bit to this and just chip away and chip away and chip away, especially after giving up a 9-run first frame. That rattles a lot of teams, really pushes them away, closes the game out, but to their credit and to Coach Rick McCarty's credit, they've done a great job responding here tonight.
So first man up here in the 9th inning is going to be Hashizaki, who flares one to the pitcher. Flip onto first, wasn't in time, and it was. And SFA does not like the call there. A little bouncer over to Gardino, and he's smiling about that one, but you know the umpires are going to hear about this one.
Yeah, and Gardino didn't do himself any favors here, bobbling it a bit there, and then, underhand tossed it. Looks pretty close. Hard to tell, and umpire's going to get an earful from the Stephen F. coaching staff.
Yeah, clearly stepping off it, and Hashizaki's still stepping off right now. He is just now leaving the field. I think he thought he had a case, but nonetheless, it's a quick 1 up, 1 down, 1 pitch for SFA here in the 9th. All right, Cooper Schneider stepping in now. Schneider tonight got on with an error in the first and came around and scored, and singled again later in that inning with an RBI and came around and scored there as well. But since then, quiet night for him. Gonna see what he can do here. 1-0 count. Low and away, so 2-0 now. Josh Ebay on deck, of course, and he's been the story of the night. 3 home runs. He's 4 for 4. Has scored every time he has touched the plate. 2-0 pitch. Chopped on the right side. A quick snag and a toss on to first. And Gardino's there. Good play from Grant Watkins.
Yeah, we had a 1-3 for the first out and then a 3-1 for the second out. Both a little close for comfort there. First one, you can ask who you'd like about whether he was safe or out at first, and coaches over at third base still giving him an earful down to first, but nonetheless 2 outs, and you gotta wonder, is this the at-bat that they don't throw to Josh eBay? Because while he's only one man, he's one man with 3 home runs tonight.
Well, we're going to see here. Here's the first pitch to eBay, and hey, it's in the strike zone. They're playing hardball tonight. eBay, 3 home runs on the night. All of them have just been gorgeous shots, anything you could say. All solo shots, by the way, absolute missiles. 4 for 4 on the night, 3 in a row. Swings and misses at that one. There's the home run. Are they going to get the Giant right now? Came into the night with 5 home runs. He's got 3, flirting with 4 right now, and I would be interested to see what he's got here, Roman. He has some power.
Well, and credit the guts of Coach McCarty to let his guy not only throw at him, but to throw 2 90-plus fastballs right down the pipe to start this at-bat. That's baseball at its finest there. You got your best, they've got their best, and you're going to go right at it head-to-head and see who bends and who breaks.
Gardino looks in, 0-2 count, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Oh, he wanted the call at the top of the zone and didn't get it. 81 miles per hour. Does not find the strike zone, in a hard take there from eBay. Kicks and deals. Here's the pitch in at the hands, and another good take. You can hear it in the crowd tonight. The ACU dugout, there were white hats moving after that call. 2-2 the count now to Josh eBay. Here's the pitch, 2-2. Low and away. Full count now to Josh eBay, and hey, maybe it shouldn't have been that, but we're getting a promised high-ticket item right now between these two. 15-13, full count, 2 outs, top of the night. eBay up, looking for 4. 3-2 pitch. Swing and fouled back. This has been the most tested eBay's been tonight, Roman.
Right, and the most pitches he's seen in and at bat by far. I mean, he's an early count hitter. Saw 5 pitches in his 5th inning home run at bat, but just 2 in the first, 2 in the second, and 3 in the third.
Strike 3 called! Andrew Gardino goes out there and gets the big man down on strikes. He goes down looking, and it's 3 up, 3 down. ACU trying to come back. SFA wants it in the book. Stick with us. Bottom of the 9th coming up in Abilene, Texas. So, Elion Balmaceda back on the mound, trying to put ACU in the books. Wildcats don't want to go down without a fight. SFA has been dominated tonight, and ACU will not go away. The Cats keep clawing back in, and the Jacks got to figure it out. 15-13 right now.
And nobody better due up for the Wildcats than Maddox Meese, the junior. Had a solid night, couple of hits, couple of singles, 1 to left and 1 to right. But a veteran guy, an experienced guy who can lead your team, lead by example here and get on base. You got to get at least 2 guys on to get some guys around here and get something across, at least scratch across 2 here in the bottom of the 9th. And, you know, before we overlook it, a great performance there from Andrew Guardino there, going right at Josh eBay and saying, you're 4 for 4 on the night with 3 home runs, but I'm going to strike you here.
All right, Meese in, and Meese tattoos 1 to left field. That one going back, it's going to fall down and into the glove of Turgeon. So quickly, 1 up, 1 down. It's Meese, and we don't know exactly who's going to come up to bat. There will be a pinch hitter for Jack Nielsen coming in now for ACU, and this is kind of a bold situation here for Rick McCarty, bringing in Rance Radke. The bottom of this order was 0 for 7 tonight. The bottom 2 batters, that is. Combined, they were 2 for 12 with Meese's statistics, but 0 for 7 without. So Nielsen out of the game. Here's Rance Radke stepping in. Radke, so far this season, As he watches the first pitch, that one in there for a strike. Radke this year, 275 the average, 11 hits, and a 310 on base percentage. Kind of dragging in the numbers, but Jack Nielsen having an off night. And quickly watches 2 pitches go by him, and it's a 1-1 count, Roman.
Yeah, this is a big at-bat for Radke. Some fresh legs, been sitting there, seen some pitches. Now needs to do some damage.
So now 1-2 the count, and this could be a quick inning for SFA. They could put this one in the books. No offense to Maddox Busey. That was a ball you have to hit every time and just did not have the trajectory. 1-2 pitch and wanted the call there, and Balmaceda will not get it. Another close call there, so full count now for Rance Radke. If he can get on base, this will be huge for ACU, and a big opportunity with Reese Boro, who is still on deck for the Wildcats. You see head coach Matt Vandenberg coming out to communicate with the home plate umpire. I think there was a miscount, he thinks, on the call, on the count there, but it is 3-2. Balmaceda back on the mound. Rance Radke stepping in now. Full count, the pitch that popped up and over the press box and into the parking lot. Still a full count. 88 miles per hour. Balmaceda's got some fire. 3-2 pitch once again. Popped off the bat, that one in right field. It looks like it may be playable for Schneider. Stepping back, he's there for the second out. Good pop from ACU on both of the first 2 pieces of hitting, but nothing there.
Yeah, just a couple of weak flares into left and right field respectively, and now down to their last out. Looks like it'll be Holden Rook.
Pinch hitter Holden Rook coming in now. Reese Boro was on deck, but Rook coming in now for ACU. Rook from the Woodlands, Texas, now a junior with ACU. He's had some big hits in his career for the Wildcats late in games, and they need one now. Balmaceda wants to put this one in the books. First pitch to Rook. Outside for first strike, and quickly now working the count. If ACU has to come back around, they're going to have to make some defensive calls here. We'll see then. Rook watches one bounce in there, and 1-1 the count now.
Yeah, a big moment for Rook here, and the pinch hit coming in to prevent the left on left that SFA kind of planned for Balmaceda to have.
Fouled back off the netting, so 1-2 the count now. 1 strike away is Balmaceda from putting this one in the books. 8 home runs between these 2 teams. Cannot stress that enough. 4 off the bat, pardon me, actually 9 home runs. 4 off the bat, or 3 off the bat of Josh Ibba. Swinging that one, popped into right center field, moving over Schneider. Can he make the play? He will indeed, and the Lumberjacks, they don't win the race, they win the marathon. 15-13, Roman. SFA puts this one in the books.
Yeah, an incredible game here tonight. 28 combined runs, 31 total hits and 3 errors, as you see there. The battle of the purple. The Wildcats take it in Nacogdoches, and then the Stephen F. Austin Lumberjacks come and take it in Abilene. A crazy night. Lots of home runs, like you mentioned. Never really knew who was in control of this one. The Lumberjacks jump out to a 9-run lead in the top of the first, and Wildcats just chip back at it as we go through and unfortunately fall at home.
All right. SFA wins 15-13, 15 runs on 18 hits, 13 runs on 13 hits for the Wildcats. For Coy Austin, Roman Raffelli, and everyone back at the ACU TV studio, this has been a presentation of The WAC on ESPN+. We're glad to have you, and we'll see you down the road. Stay safe.